This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
The clouds have come over, it's trapped the warm air in, the wind is picking up, and this is Safari Live.
Ready.
Standing by.
Five, four, three, two, one. You are live, you are live.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Sunrise Safari. But unfortunately, there's no sunrise here. My name is Taylor, and on camera with me today is Craig, and we are bringing you a live and interactive safari. So remember, hashtag safariLIVE on Twitter with all of your questions, and we look forward to hearing you. Both Byron and I are out in the vehicles today. Woohoo! Sensor's back on camera, and of course, you've already met Craig, aka Butternut Craig, aka Batman. Now, as I said earlier, the clouds, well, they rolled in last night, and they graced us with their presence. Actually quite nice to have some cloud coverage today, keeping the warmth in. Otherwise, I would imagine it would be quite a chilly morning. Now, animals. I'm sure you want an update from last night. Unfortunately, I actually didn't hear much at all. I didn't even hear a hyena. How unusual, because they're always in camp raiding. Craig, did you hear any calls of the night?
Yeah, I feel a lion, but out
Okay. Craig said he thought he heard some lions. So, well, that's where we're going, Craig. He said around Gallagher Buffelshoek boundary side. So what we're going to do now is we're actually just going to head straight down Vuyatela access. We're going to go all the way to Gowrie Gate. We're going to check Sydney's Dam, and we're going to go along the northern boundary and see who has been moving around, if anybody has crossed into the property. Remember, lion roars can travel a very far away, so even if they were calling, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're actually on the property, but I hope that they are, because I'd really like to see some lions, especially after watching some of the footage of lions taking on buffalo from last year. That was so spectacular, and it's really just got me so excited about winter all over again. But we're going to searching and hopefully the next time you come to us we'll have some clues as to who was moving around on the property last night. But let's go across to Byron and King Senzor so they can say good morning.
Good morning, my name is Byron, and on camera with me this morning is the Mara Prince himself, Senzo. Senzo's back from the Mara, great to have him back, and nice early start. Hold on a second. Oh, I can hear a barred owlet. Oh, I think it's a little bit far for us. It sounds like it's quite far into the bush. Something like that. That's the African barred owlet. But I think it's a bit too far for us, unfortunately. Just heard it calling now. Yeah, it sounds a bit far. I don't think we'll be able to get in there. That's a pity. Love seeing those little owls. Well, like Taylor, I also didn't hear much last night. I thought I heard some lions. Senzo says he heard lions early this morning, but possibly quite far. He wasn't sure how close they were. So we're just driving very carefully, checking for any tracks, any signs of animals that may have been moving around during the night. It is overcast, as Taylor mentioned, but it still feels a bit chilly this morning. Also feels like I'm struggling to wake up a little bit. I don't know why. Oh, look what we've just found. Hang on, let me try to get us into a little gap here. There we go. Good morning, sir. Now it's about 18 degrees Celsius, or what's that, 74 Fahrenheit? Is it 74? 64. Must be 74. We found a giraffe. This is an old male. You can see the calcification around his skull. Look at those protrusions or knobs on the skull. Just like those ossicones. You can see those two very bald ossicones or the horns of the giraffe. And then just behind them you can see two protrusions there. And the older the giraffe get, more prominent those bumps on the head become. You'll also see on the forehead, he's also got one. And Nikki, you excited about seeing the giraffe? You say it's been a while. It has, although Nikki, we when was it? Saturday and yesterday we had giraffe on safariLIVE. But it had been a while. You're right. We hadn't seen giraffe for quite some time. And all of a sudden, once we... it's funny how the bush works sometimes. We were discussing it, saying we haven't seen giraffe for quite a while. And then... and all of a sudden, they've arrived. Megan feeling very wise this morning in the final control. She says, when it rains, it pours. Megan's going on leave, I think perhaps that's why she's so excited and chipper this morning. Isn't that great? Look at that. You can see that those oxpeckers sitting on the giraffe already early in the morning. Oxpeckers sitting on, picking off the ticks and the fleas. James, you asked how tall can a giraffe grow to? James, about 5.5 to 6 meters for a big male. I think females are a bit shorter, maybe 4.5 meters. But big males can get up to 6 meters tall. Senzo, did you see many different giraffe up in East Africa? Which ones did you see there? Right, yeah. So there are slightly different species of giraffe up in Kenya. And Senzo said he saw a few of them. We only have the southern giraffe, this giraffe species, down in southern Africa. That barred owlet hasn't stopped calling. Constantly calling. It's quite a chill in the wind at the moment. Oh, it's great to see the giraffe towering above the trees, above some of the... Makeup girl, you asked what does giraffe fur feel like? I don't know. There you can see that calcification around the forehead. Clearly you can see those bumps and protrusions. Makeup girl, I don't know. I've never felt a giraffe before. So I'm not sure. I really don't know. Now there is, I'm trying to think where it is now. I think it's in Kenya. There's a place called Giraffe Manor. I think it's in Kenya, if I'm not mistaken. Giraffe Manor, and you can go there, and while you're having breakfast, the giraffes stick their heads through the window. I think you on the first floor of a building, and the giraffes stick their heads through the window, and they come in. They basically join you for breakfast. You can feed them through the window. And you can see those long tongues coming in. You can touch them. Yulissa, you asked, aren't giraffe aggressive? Well, I wouldn't say aggressive. No, they generally prefer to move away from any potential danger or threat. However, the giraffe can be very curious. So if they do see a predator, they'll often go stand and watch and keep an eye on the predator just to make sure there's no danger towards them. But also, the giraffe can kick very, very hard. They can kick both forwards and backwards using their legs, and I mean they can seriously. I think suffering a blow from a giraffe kick would not be ideal. I've seen lions get flung in all directions from a giraffe kicking them off. And there he goes. That's a lovely start. Nice to see a giraffe again. Isn't that great? Well, that's good. Let's see what else we can start, or what else we can find. Sounds like I have a frog in my throat this morning. Oh dear. All falling apart. I don't know. Alright, now Taylor's gone in search of lions, I think. She's headed all the way to the northwestern corner. Let's go and have a look, find out how her search is going.
Byron, I think I have to agree with you this morning. I've also got a little bit of a frog in my throat, though I had it yesterday. I don't know, is it possible that I could have talked too much, that my voice is now disappearing? That would probably be a real treat. My mom will be very excited about that. She'll probably tell me to come home straight away. She's probably never experienced quiet Taylor before. Now, Craig and I have been listening to the alarm calls of zebra. And they've been calling, I heard them actually quite early this morning. That's the only sound of the night that I heard, but not typically a nocturnal creature. And they've come from Vuyatela and they've crossed into Buffelshoek. You can even look, if you just look on front of the road, these tracks that you can sort of see with the naked eye, those are all zebra footprints. So I don't know if there were maybe lions that have been chasing them around, but in my experience, often when one zebra gets taken out of a herd, the herd normally is quite distressed about it, yeah? And especially if it's a mare that's lost her foal, and sometimes you can often hear her, even after her foal has been taken down, for hours later they'll continue distressing. I haven't seen one lion footprint yet though, so I think what we'll do is we'll carry on over here. I did tell Rexon about the alarm calls, so he's going to come into Buffelshoek and he's going to go and investigate that side. Now, Craig obviously said early this morning he thought he heard some lions around Gallagher Shortcut Buffelshoek boundary. Maybe it won't be a bad idea if we actually take one of those roads and just start weaving in this section. It's possible that the lions were on the property and we just never found them yesterday. It was just me driving around and everyone else was driving in Torchwood and other spots. And you may have remembered me saying that I heard lionesses calling and I couldn't find their tracks and I couldn't find them. And then, I think I forgot to tell you, when I went to town to pick Senzo up, there were a whole family of kudu that were alarming around Gallagher camp. I couldn't see what they were alarming for. They were looking down into the drainage line. To me that sort of says leopards, because that's where the leopards like to move around in. But let's just go here and have a quick little look around. So Rexon's come from Gowrie Cutline side, so he's gone past the big Jackalberry. We'll go down this way, and I want to just make sure that I check very carefully. Alright, let's see who is walking here. Lots of hyena tracks, so maybe it's not a bad idea to pop into the hyena den. They're all going back towards the direction of the den, so we'll do that too. Just quickly checking. This is always a great intersection to check. Very sandy. No. Oh. Don't fly. We might be able to watch a courtship process of some turtle doves. That's something that I've been seeing at the moment, is the males puffing themselves up and trying to sing their beautiful song to entice a female turtle dove. Now they're just walking side by side in a serpentine motion, which is so typical of the doves. Remember that if you're ever doing a tracking assessment. If you have a bird track, that is serpentining in the road is most likely from a dove. Well, that's very sweet. Well, both of them walking down the road, looking for seeds, anything delicious to eat. Oh, and it's very important as we sit here to also listen to everything that's going around us. There isn't many birds talking, but what I am listening out for is perhaps a roar, a soaring from soaring from a leopard, or perhaps a distress call from a prey species. Mainly what I can hear is the wind. The wind is now starting to pick up. Okay, right, let's carry on. Let's see what we can find here. It's very quiet, but maybe. Oh. Well, I just want to show you this termite mound very quickly. It looks like there's maybe a couple of different species living here. If we go to the top sort of hole, look at all that dung. There must be mongoose in here, dwarf mongoose. That looks relatively fresh, but they won't be worried about coming out just yet. It's overcast, it's a bit chilly, and the wind is picking up. They'll wait until the sun breaks through the clouds. And then there's another hole just further down. That could be from something slightly larger, maybe something like a warthog. Though actually it looks like, I don't know, maybe somebody was digging in there quite some time ago. Perhaps an aardvark was maybe at one point sticking its nose into that mound looking for termites, but sadly there is nothing there. But we're going to keep carrying on. We're going to head towards the hyena den, and hopefully we'll pick up on some lion or leopard tracks around here. Hopefully lion tracks, that's what I'd like to see. I'm going to send you back across to Byron. I'm not sure if he's still with his giraffe, but hopefully he's going to find you a spotted cat.
Well, Taylor, I'm not sure about a spotted cat. However, I have found tracks of a male lion walking along the road. We're on Twin Dams Road. It looks like it's heading down towards Twin Dams. I just hope that this lion hasn't crossed out of our property already. So I'm having a good look around here. Some nice clear tracks of this male lion walking through the area. That's very exciting. I'm going to keep my eyes peeled. You know, straight down the road. He's walked all the way along here. Oh, it would be really, really wonderful to find a male lion this morning. Part of me wishes that he just came around the corner and he was lying in the road. That would be wonderful. It would be great. So let's have a look. Keep your eyes peeled, Senzo. Maybe there's a male lion that's lying down somewhere. Often what happens is they cover huge distances at night. We know that. But early in the morning they may go and lie down and rest a little bit because they've been walking around so much. And then potentially get up and move around a little bit later again. Having a look while I'm driving, just trying to check very carefully to see if I can still see any sign of this lion. Tracks. Excuse me a second, let me jump out here. Now, Bree, you asked, what do I mean by relatively fresh? Well, Bree, so there were no lion tracks around this area last night or yesterday. So, what I mean by relatively fresh, it means the tracks look quite clear. So it's basically a way of me covering myself a little bit, so I don't say they're completely fresh and we don't find the lion. So if I say they're relatively fresh, they're from last night. That's what I mean. But I'm just trying to see now. I can't see another track now. A male lion track is very easy to spot, especially in the soft sand that we've got around here. dear. Looks like he's given us a slip. I wonder if he didn't head up through that section of bush over there. You don't see a lion looking at us by any chance, Enzo? I think those tracks cut off there now. I'm just trying to work out which direction he's gone. They definitely cut off the road. No longer on the road, but let's see. Alright, I think let's go this way. Let's go have a look up here. Maybe he's cut through this section. And he's come out this side. We'll have a look around here. Let's head back to Taylor. She's going towards that hyena den. I wonder if there's going to be any activity around there.
I'm not so sure. We've actually just arrived at the hyena den. We're going all the way around it now. There was nobody at the front entrance, so we're just going to check here towards the back where they sometimes like to lay as well. But I haven't seen anything just yet. But it's weird though, because it's very fresh. No, we're not going anywhere like that. Please stay in 4x4. There's been so much fresh hyena tracks coming in here too, so perhaps we've already missed them. Maybe they've come back and they've left again. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anyone here. Just quickly go around and we'll get a better view. So I'm just watching where I drive so I don't drive over too many big logs. No. I'm going to keep going. Doesn't look like anyone's home. It's very quiet here. No one laying outside the den. Tima hasn't poked her little head out to come and say hello. Oh, watch out, Craig. No. We'll have to try again a little bit later then. So we're just going to try and get out of here quickly. Or actually, there's no such thing as going anywhere around here quickly. It's quite thick. Gotta dodge lots of trees. Come on, Wendy. Sorry, no, I'm really concentrating. Turn, car, turn. Right, we're gonna get out of here eventually, I promise. And like I said, it's just gonna take some time. So while we bumble about and maybe a hyena appears in the process, we're going to send you back across to Byron, who is chasing after a male lion.
I am indeed, Taylor. I hope we find him. I'm checking very, very carefully, having a look at the ground, scanning the bush. But oh, elephant up ahead. Yeah, that's nice. That's great. Look, is it just the one? There might be some others up ahead. The road actually bends. Let's go have a look. Or just through there. Have a look at that one so long. Just trying to see. It would be unusual to see one by itself. The other nice thing is now sitting and viewing this elephant. We're keeping quiet, and then maybe we hear alarm calls if that lion is still in the area. Maybe the lion even calls for us. That would be great. Hearing a lion roar is definitely a sure way of getting in the right area to hopefully find those lions. Let's go. I'm going to move ahead. Let's try catch up with this elephant. And like I said, it's strange to see one by itself. It's not unusual. You can definitely see an elephant by itself from time to time, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's possibly a few more up ahead. We'll have a look. Because this is a fairly young elephant, so it's strange to see one by itself. Oh, this is very peculiar. Just hold on. I think this elephant's gonna just behind this bush over here to my right, but it's heading in this direction. We might get a nice view of it. I can't hear any others. He's actually hiding behind there. There it comes. Nikki, you asked how would the elephant act if a lion roars? Well, Nikki, I think you know they're so used to hearing these animals roar and make a noise. So I don't, unless it was very close, this elephant probably wouldn't react. But if it was really close, the elephant would most likely try and get out of the area. Because this elephant is alone. This is a young male, so I wouldn't be surprised if this young male's been pushed out of a herd, perhaps. Maybe that is why he is alone, but it is a young male. Sometimes these younger males do prefer meeting up with big old bulls, and those older bulls then teach these younger males how to be successful, where to look for food, where to look for water, and also to try and know where to find females and what to do when you do find a herd. That's a nice surprise, though. Sure, we've been lucky so far this morning. Giraffe, elephant, lion tracks. We better find this lion, Senzo. We will. That's it. That's it. I like the positivity. I haven't seen any tracks coming out on this road. That elephant is still continuing through. I have one more look at him. This young male. James, you asked Senzo if there's anything particular he'd like to see being back. Senzo? Really? Senzo says he wants to see leopard, and especially Tamba. He says he would love to see Tamba, that young male leopard. See, this elephant isn't even feeding, just constantly moving. So that would also make me think perhaps he has picked up on the scent of some other elephant, and he's trying to catch up to them. It's moving very, very quickly. What a nice surprise. Nice to see a young male elephant. Alright, let's carry on our search now for this male lion. I'm going to actually turn around here quickly. Also, you see, what I've done is we've viewed this male elephant, the young male elephant, but you can see he's not too comfortable with the vehicle. He's alone. I don't think he's really interested in a vehicle getting too close to him. So there's no reason for us to stay and follow and continue to push him and to push him away. You could cause the elephant to get a bit agitated, and we don't want that. We've had a nice view of him. He's moving around looking for others, so we'll leave him and let him carry on his business. So I'm going to carry on with my business of trying to find the male lion. And let's head back to Taylor and find out how her morning is going and what her plan is now after that hyena den.
I'm actually not sure. We've just come on Gallagher shortcut, the actual little shortcut, and past the pan, and I have not seen any predator tracks at all just yet. So I'm still trying to, find some tracks to sort of follow up on, but I haven't had one leopard or one lion track, so I'm obviously searching in the wrong areas. I think maybe we'll go right into the western corner and check around in Pilot Plain. Maybe Shadow has returned to her favorite road. Now, Carl, you're wondering if there's any updates on Tingana. I haven't actually heard anything about him for quite some time, but that's also not unusual. We know Tingana's fine, and he's got quite an extensive territory that he needs to maintain. So he's probably just off doing a patrol, maybe, which would be even better, which would make me smile, is that he's actually something and he's feeding himself. But I haven't seen him in quite some time. I'm trying to even think the last time we had a leopard story around ounces of that. Oh, a little daker. So hopefully he'll come back. He's due to be seen. We haven't seen him for a couple of days, but hopefully he will come back soon and we'll get to see him again. He's a beautiful big leopard. That's a little male daker. That's actually not bolting away from us. How unusual. So yesterday I was talking about daker, and we were actually looking at daker dung. Oh, there's two of them. There's a female in the background too. You can just see her moving. There she is. Hello, young lady. Or you're an experienced, wise old gal. It's hard to tell with the daker because they're grey already. Ha 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 ha. So funny. Anyways, I was saying that we're really lucky at this time of the year because of all the vegetation dying out in the winter months, and hopefully we'll get to spend more and more time with these animals. I'm particularly enjoying the daker and the Steenbok sightings. Now, something that we need to keep watching out for, because I'm convinced that I'm going to show it to you live one day, because I have a lot of luck with it. It's been quite some time, but I have seen daker feeding on mice. I cannot tell you how many times, at least 3 times at Sabi. I've seen it in the Eastern Cape. I actually saw it when I was doing my guide training for the first time, and I'll never forget my trainer was telling me, Taylor, or telling all of us, would you believe it if I told you that daker are actually one of the only antelope that will feed on chicks, on mice and rats and gerbils and things like that, to sort of supplement their diets, particularly in the winter months. And I said, absolute hogwash, that's not true. And then a couple of hours later, we'd gone on a night drive and we actually saw it. And I watched this daker actually stomp this mouse with its foot. It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And then gobbled it up. And then I just said to myself, wow. It was one of the first bizarre sightings I ever had in the bush, and I thought, my goodness, nature's weird, and it just does whatever it wants. And then we've come around a couple of times with my tracker Candy. I'd obviously told him about these sightings that I've had, and he said, never, they don't eat mice. And I said, I promise you. And we eventually found this female daker, and we know that daker and Steenbok are territorial, so you can often find the same one in the same spot. And she was quite relaxed around the vehicles. And a couple of times we came around the corner, and then you'd see her with a tail just outside her mouth, and then sort of slurping it up as if it was a piece of spaghetti. And he was also completely blown away. He had no idea that daker would do such things. Well, that's quite cool. So that's what we're going to be doing now. Every time we watch a daker, we're going to try and spend as much time with it before it completely disappears, and we're going to watch them and hope they'll catch her. Well, hang on. Here's a nice question. Now, Daniel, you're wondering if the female daker is the only antelope species that grows horns. And no, not at all. That was actually the male we were looking at. The male's got the horns. The female was at the back. She lacks horns. But there are plenty of different antelope out in Africa where both male and female have horns. I'll give you an example. I'm going to have a look. I think these are African green pigeons just up on these knob thorns. It's difficult to see with the light. But a blesbok, for example, both male and female have got horns. Look, wildebeest. Both male and female have got horns. So there's quite a few different species of antelope where both sexes have got the horns. I mean, it's endless. You can go on and on and on. Hartebeest or another one. All the birds are now starting to chatter. But there we go. Some African green pigeons posing right at the tops of the trees, waiting for the sun to break so that they can warm themselves up. It's not particularly cold this morning. That's what's so nice. The wind there's a little bit of a nip in the air. My goodness, not only do I have a frog in my throat, I'm also getting tongue-tied. That's going to be fantastic. Stay tuned. I might have another reproducing incident today, which could be quite comical. Let's hope not. Sorry, birdies, that the sun has not come out yet. I think it's going to break soon, though. Once we get to higher ground, we'll see if we can see the sun poking its nose out. And the cloud cover is actually quite thick this morning. Right. Should we see if there's any more daker around here? It's nice and open. I wonder if the camp is not coming down with a cold, because Craig's also got a little bit of a cough this morning, and that's the unfortunate thing, is when we live in such close proximity, basically we live on top of each other, and we are like of course a big family, so when one person goes down with a cold or anything like that, or a bug gets in camp, we all get it. But I don't think it'll be anything too serious. Nothing that some tea and perhaps, I don't know what else, some orange juice could maybe fix. Right. Now we're just going past Vuyatela Dam. I think I'm going to go all the way across the dam wall. Maybe we'll see if my friends the Hardy-Dars are at the dam. And then we're going to head down Zoe's and then start checking to the western side, because there doesn't seem to be much around here. But while we navigate these bumpy roads, let's go across to Byron. He is also arriving at a dam, and it seems to be Twin Dams.
We are down here at Taylor Twin Dams. Now, I just want to get off the vehicle quickly. Let's have a look. I'm just trying to see if perhaps this lion that we're looking for has crossed our boundary already. So I'm trying to see if there are any fresh tracks. No. There we go. Fresh track crossing south into Little Gowrie, unfortunately. Yeah, you walk straight down, all the way along here, straight past the dam, and crossed our boundary. Looks like it is just the one male though. Nice big clear track. That is very unfortunate. I want to see if I can maybe find a nice clear one for you. Now, you know, just having a look around here, just making sure. You know what, there are also tracks of a male leopard going this way. Okay, well that's made things very interesting. Now it's not very clear. This substrate is a bit hard over here. Here there's nice soft sand, so it's a bit easier to see the tracks. But clear male leopard tracks going this way, and this male lion crossed through over here. I think we should just have a good look around here. So have a good little scan, but there's a clear track of this lion right here. I'm not sure if you can actually see it, Senzo. It's a bit faint, but there's a clear lion track right here. It's crossing. There's the other paw, or the other track right over here. You can see the indentation in the sand, actually. It's actually very clear. So that's where that lion's crossed the boundary. But tracks of a male leopard going this way. Okay, so we've got our work cut out for us this morning, it looks like it. But you never know. Maybe the lion decided to change direction again and come back this way. I'll show you how far they can walk, and they can cross through Djuma. And let's have a look at where these male leopard tracks go. Again, you know, I always say these are the times, especially times like this. I wish my friend Judas was with me to help me track and find these animals, because he's such a great tracker. I was very fortunate, worked with quite a few great trackers, but Judas and I worked together for about almost 5 years, and he just had a sixth sense about tracking, where to look and where to find animals. Who knows? Maybe I learned something from him, and we find this leopard or lion this morning. Hope I paid enough attention. I'm just checking the dam carefully. You never know. This leopard could very easily lie down and hide in a thicket near a dam. Wait for potential food. I'm not sure how fresh that leopard track was. I don't know if it was from late last night or early this morning. But we're going to have a good look around here. Paul, you asked, how can we tell the size of the tracks or the size of the animal just by looking at the tracks or the footprints? Let me just have a look here quickly. Yeah, there's a track. There we go. Okay, let me try to show you quickly. See if I can get a track here and I'll explain it to you. Let me circle it for you, Senzo, make it a bit easier to see. There we go. It's actually quite difficult. There we go. There's the track over there. I don't know, can you see that, Senzo? It's difficult, huh? But there we go. There's the back pad of the Leopard track and the 1, 2, 3, 4 toes. I'm not sure if you can see that. Like I said, the substrate at the moment it's a bit difficult. There's a bit more softer sand. But you know what makes it even harder? The clouds. Now the clouds, because there's not great light coming through, makes it even more difficult to see these tracks. Now, Paul, you were asking, how can I tell that it's a male just by looking at the tracks? Well, a male leopard track is much larger than a female track. It's also much rounder. And also with that male lion track, it's a big round track. It's a very, very large track, about twice the size of this male leopard track. So that's with the female tracks, Paul, they're a bit smaller, especially with the leopards. Smaller tracks, not as round as a big male leopard. But that's a nice clear track. We've walked along here. Now I wonder if it didn't go straight down the drainage line through the Mulawati. We will try our best. I'm going to have a look around now. I'm going to have a good look around and see if we can't try to find this leopard. Alright, let's head back to Taylor. Who I think is she approaching a dam now too?
We did a 360, no we didn't do a 360, we did a 180 and we turned around and we went the other way because I found some male leopard tracks. Also found wild dog tracks. Now I know the wild dog tracks were from yesterday because we had them running around on the property. Unfortunately no one got to see them, we just saw all their footprints. And then we also, it was really cool, we had the most amazing, it was probably about 30-second sighting or so, so it happened very quickly, but of a slender mongoose, which was amazing. And Craig and I both looked at each other, we went, that's unusual, that's relaxed. And for most of you, the name slender mongoose might not even mean anything because we don't get to put them on screen very often. It was really, really cool. And there was also a little white-browed scrub robin sitting there and alarming at it. But maybe we'll get lucky. I don't think I've actually ever put a slender mongoose on screen before. We'll try again. And then there were some leopard tracks coming this way to a male leopard, but they could have been from yesterday too, but we're just going to drive in Vubu anyway and have a look here. I'm just also listening to the radio as we bumble about. I'm not sure what everyone's talking about. No, everyone's just... Oh, it's Byron that's talking on the radio now. I thought, whose voice is that? Byron. Okay, to check here nicely. No one on top of that termite mound. And I haven't got any tracks at all, really. Let's see here if these leopard tracks are still going on the road. No, but the wild dogs came this way. Animals, please don't let us have a quiet morning. See, now I'm wanting to change my route because I'm here. I'm wondering if I shouldn't just do the entire boundary of Buffelshoek and actually go and check Buffelshoek Dam and see what's happening in that corner before we go to the far west. Very indecisive this morning. I don't know what to do with myself. What do you think, Craig? See, I'm trying to find these tracks of the lions that you said you heard. Unless they just didn't come this way, unless they just stayed on Buffelshoek. Though Rexon hasn't said anything either about lion tracks just yet. Although I'm sure Byron will have the Game Drive radio handled. We'll just turn it up just a little bit to see if anybody says something. No. Nah, there's nothing here. There's just lots of hyena tracks now going up and down. Okay. We'll just keep bumbling then until something decides to jump in front of our screen. Whee! Now, I believe you are all very excited about potentially seeing a Birmingham boy. Oh, wouldn't that be nice? I'm starting to like the Birminghams now. They're growing on me. Like I said, my favorite coalition of males has always been the Fourways males. But the Birmingham boys are turning into such lovely lions, and they've all got so much character. And Fulmore's quite cool. I like him. I like that scar that he has on his eye. Let's quickly just scan here. I don't know if anybody's been up this way. Oh no, of course, yes. Rexon has checked the spot, so I'm not too worried about tracks here then. He's, like I said, Rexon's got James sitting on the front of the car, so he'll be able to spot tracks better than I can. But we know how many times we found carcasses along Buffelshoek boundary between here and the fire break, so I'm going to make sure that I check all the trees carefully. And we should be able to see leopards in trees quite easily, especially because the marulas have all lost their leaves now. But saying that, I haven't actually seen a leopard in a tree for quite some time. It's amazing though how the cats out here sort of vary, spending time on the ground and up in the trees. In the summer months we normally see them up in the trees quite a bit. You can imagine why though. It's because there's lots of leaves, so it's nice and cool up there. You also get away from the biting flies, whereas in winter it's very exposed. It's better if you're trying to keep cool just to actually lay underneath a small shrub. Can't necessarily lay up in a bush willow, and they're one of the few trees that have actually still got leaves on. We'll just check here carefully anyway. The only thing that's really around, there's a couple of impalas scattered here and there. There's some young waterbuck. Why are you running away? And they're running away we'll never see them. Gone into the thicket. It might be one of those days. Craig, did you shower? They catch you off guard. Panicked. Okay, so no, nothing in these trees. It's barren out here at the moment. It's so wonderful. Not even a bird sitting up on top of the tree. Douglas, you said that I should find the wild dogs because you quite enjoy watching me drive around like a madman. Should we change it to mad woman? I reckon so. I don't think we'll find the dogs. Like I said, those tracks were from yesterday, and the tracks we had yesterday were very fresh, and we couldn't even find them because they moved so quickly. But you never know. Like I was chatting about it yesterday morning. It's almost impossible to try and track down wild dogs. They move so quickly, and so we'll just have to drive and then hope that we bump into them. Let me just quickly go through this dip. Might be a couple of gremlins trying to jump on board. We won't let... There we go. We threw the little dodgy spot. Yeah, I think we're going to go to Buffelshoek Ham. I almost said Buffelshoek Ham again. Buffelshoek Dam. And look there, because I don't know if there's maybe anything on the property right now. Maybe they're still busy making their way here. Because it's so clouded and overcast, they could definitely still be moving. Let me have a look at these impala ewes. Hi girls. Are you waiting for the new green grass to come up? You're going to have to wait a little bit longer, I'm afraid. You can see the rest of the herd is just at the back. And we're just hanging a little bit further sort of north of the group, but they won't stay back for too long because it's very risky not huddling up together. Because that's what a leopard would be looking for. Is they'd be looking for one impala or one inyala, bushbuck, whichever antelope species they're going after, that's sort of straying off to the side, where they can catch it without causing too much of a scene. And then also they run less of a chance of being spotted. So you two better hurry up and get back amongst the middle of the group. But they're just happily feeding. And we'll start to see lots of animals coming through these burnt areas now in these fire breaks. Not that this was particularly burnt very much, but there will be some green grass that should start coming through over the next few weeks, and they'll be very happy about that. I think she has a little twitch in her ear. Okay, let's keep going. You know, normally this area, there's always cat tracks. All the time. But not today. No, some baboon tracks from yesterday. But that seems to be it. A couple of elephant tracks too, going into the property, but also looks like from late yesterday afternoon. Maybe they're still around or give us something else to follow up on. I'm always game for elephants. I'm going to send you now across to Byron. He's just done a Mulwati cruise. Let's go find out if he saw some interesting birds.
I didn't actually, to be honest. I wasn't even looking for birds. I was purely trying to look for leopard tracks. And but no sign of that leopard coming through. We've got some impala and inyala. Have a look here. Nice little, there's a young male inyala off to the left. There we go. You can see he's just starting to turn, or starting to get a bit of a greyish coat, those little horns. Oh, beautiful antelope. The nice thing now is we've got impala and inyala standing out here. Well, look at the horns on that impala ram. Massive. So as I was saying, we've got impala and inyala standing out here. So they will hopefully help us in finding our leopard. If that leopard passes through this area, they will alarm call. And we'll know exactly where to look. So it's great to have all these antelope around. I'm trying to listen the whole time too, trying to listen for any sign of predator calling or alarm calls or anything. Paul, you say these horns look so sharp. They do indeed. And they are sharp. They are sharp, Paul. Very sharp. And there's a barred owlet calling down in the Mulwati behind us. It sounds quite far. It's amazing how far that sound can be heard from. If only there was a road heading down there. There isn't, unfortunately. Well, we've had some excitement this morning. We started with giraffe, we've seen elephant, we've had lion tracks. Unfortunately, they crossed south into Little Gowrie, so we can't follow them down there. And a lot of you are asking if I could please go check the genet hole. We found the genet about a week ago, hiding in a little hole in a tree, in a hollowed out tree. I've checked it twice now. I checked it yesterday and I checked it this morning. No sign of that genet. So maybe it's hiding in there a little bit deeper. Oh wow, look at a bird of prey. Oh, it's a juvenile battalier just flying above us. Sorry, Senzo. Well done. This is content quick enough. Well done, Senzo. We got a glimpse of it. There's a juvenile battalier that just flew over us. That was nice. That was wonderful. So young battalier, still brown in color, not that adult black coloration that we're used to seeing with that red face. The juvenile battaliers are still very, very brown, but a short tail, easy to identify with it flying over us. There's a lot of inyala in this area. I've spotted at least 3 or 4 more, if not more, around here. So a lot of inyala to keep an eye out for predators for us. Lynn, yes, indeed. The different antelope species coexist completely, and the reason for that is most of them are herbivores. Not most of them. All of them are herbivores, Lynn. They're all herbivores, so they don't necessarily challenge one another. There's no need to challenge. The other thing is that each antelope species may fill a different niche in nature, so they feed on different vegetation. For example, kudu are browsers. So the kudu would happily be around impala, where the impala are generally, well, they're mixed feeders. They graze and browse, but because they're different heights. Do you see something, Sensor? Spiderweb. So the kudu would feed at a higher height compared to the impala. So there's no direct competition. So Lynn, it's no problem for these antelope to be found together, like we just saw also the Inyala and the impala together. They'd feed on slightly different vegetation, so no direct competition. Sorry, got a spider web in my mouth. The sun just breaking through those clouds now, and but so yes, Lynn. I mean, if you think of the wildebeest and impala often found together, kudu, Inyala. All these antelope species would happily move in the same area or stay close together. The other thing is for safety. They would keep a lookout for predators and warn each other if there's any danger. So you definitely see different antelope species moving together or in the same area. Chitty Chatty Meg, you were asking if we eat impala like you eat deer in the United States. We do indeed. So there's actually a lot of venison. Now, for those of you unsure what venison is any game meat. It's not a specific type of antelope, but it's any game meat. And we eat impala, we eat kudu, we eat springbuck in South Africa. Now, those animals would not necessarily come out of the game reserve itself. They would be probably, can't really say farmed, but they would be in areas people specifically selling that meat for people to eat. And venison is really good. It's quite lean, and obviously there's because it's not farmed as such. No hormones or anything like that injected into them. So actually very healthy meat. But yes, Meg, we feed on, we eat impala, and as my favorite, I must be honest, is kudu and springbuck. Really tasty, really nice to eat. But we don't eat it that often. It depends on which part of South Africa you're in and if it's readily available. Right, well, let's go back to Taylor. We've had no luck with these leopard tracks. I'm still going to check this area very carefully. Let's go find out how Taylor's morning's going.
Well, Byron, I'm in the same boat as you. The only tracks that I have actually seen, hang on, I might change my mind now, have been impala tracks. However, I have one set of male lion tracks, but staring down on the ground. I'm trying to establish if they're fresh or not, or if it's just because the sand is so fine here and there isn't much of it. It's not creating a... Oh, sorry, I'm getting distracted. There's a little squirrel, Craig, we can have a look at while I try and figure out... And it's gone now. Never mind. It has disappeared. I can't decide if these tracks are fresh or not. We'll just carry on. There's nice sand. No, I don't know how fresh that track was. Maybe it was just... Yeah, I think it's actually from the other night, in fact. It's just the ground is so hard here, and there's just like a fine layer of sand. It caught my eye, but it doesn't look particularly fresh. It's very quiet, but it sounds like it's quiet all over. I actually don't think anybody has found any lions or any leopards just yet. So I wonder where they all are. Sneaky. Now, Bree, for research. I don't. Megan does, though. Megan's doing a project at the Megan's directing, and she was making all sorts of tracks. She's made her own ones, though, using plaster of Paris and gauze. It was actually goes further into the mud depression, which makes for a better mold. But no, I don't know. Amy's done it a couple of times.
Oh dear, so I think we just lost Taylor there for a second. No, I'm still driving around trying to find any sign of these predators or any further sign of these predators. I have no idea where they've gone. Well, I know where the male lion went. I don't know where the leopard's gone. I don't want to give up just yet. Yesterday afternoon we were looking for Hosanna. Oh, there's a nice family of warthogs enjoying the burnt area over here. As I was saying yesterday, we were trying to look for Hosanna in the afternoon. Couldn't find him, and we drove around, we drove everywhere, drove through the bush, and just had no luck. But just before we thought it was time to give up, we bumped into him. So keys, never give up, keep trying. The nice thing about driving around here is you're bound to bump into something, whether it be warthogs or nyala or impala. If you don't have any luck with the predators, it's not always about the predators. It's nice to see them, don't get me wrong, but to see the other animals around, you're always going to bump into something. See those warthogs using their snouts to dig and try to get to the grass shoots and the roots. Mischief, you say hello, Pumba. So you must be a big Lion King fan. I almost said Game of Thrones fan. Sinatra warthog is fairly tasty. It's a darker meat, much darker than pork, but similar in flavour. But it is quite gamey. But yes, warthog can be tasty. All right. Oh, Taylor's got a bird. She wants to show you. I'm going to carry on from here.
It's a black-collared barbet, spotted by Buttonut Craig. How cool is that? Just one on its own. Now, they're normally actually quite gregarious. You can see them in small flocks, and they are quite noisy birds. They make a call that sort of sounds something like this. Not really, because they don't really sound like they're whistling. But it's quite a beautiful call. I was hoping that if I could entice this bird to sing us a tune. But obviously I'm not doing the call accurate enough, because they're also quite territorial. They're one of the birds that you don't actually want to play the call near them, their real call, because they will respond and they'll come and sit quite close by to you. And there's no need to really upset them that much. You look a little bit on the cold side. Now, I'm at my favorite birding spot at the moment, and this is where we see lots and lots of birds. We're just on Inyala Road North near the jackalberry that's dropping fruit. So there are plenty birds around here. We won't be able to see too many of them because they're hiding in the leaves. So unless they very kindly land out in the open, just as this barbet has, and we'll be able to, of course, spot them. But hornbills, there's crested franklins around here too. I'm actually looking for my southern bobo again, the one that was around here. But no such luck just yet. Oh, I think that bird's going to fly soon. Isn't that very pretty? Oh, it's having a scratch. Oh, that's nice. It's going to preen itself. We don't often get to sit with these black-collared barbets for such a long time. And it's only very, very brief sightings, and they always fly away. I'd actually like to try and find a black-collared barbet nest. So just like the crested barbets, they use natural cavities. But I have yet to find one. But I'm sure they're all living in the Mulwati somewhere. That's where we seem to see them most. You're so cold. You're very fluffy. They're beautiful birds. They really are. Once we're away from this bird, I'll actually play the call for you. Apparently this one hasn't got very good balance either. It almost just fell off of its perch. Do you know what I was laughing at? And I actually completely forgot to mention it yesterday. If any of you were watching the Sunset Safari, and we went across to James a couple of times in Kenya, and they were looking at the rupals, vultures, and as well as a marabou stork. Did anybody see the vulture pecking the marabou stork's feet? It was the funniest thing. I was hosing myself in the tent because I can watch the show while I'm in there too. And I don't know if James missed it, but my goodness, Innocentia and I were in tears because this vulture was pecking the marabou stork's feet, and the marabou stork was trying to kick the vulture in the head. It was really hilarious. Maybe some of you spotted it and actually took some screenshots. Remember, you can share them around because it was a great sighting. #safariLIVE. And let us know what number the black-collared barbet is on your list too. I'm always keen to know who's nearing 100, who's nearing 200, so that we can try and get you to those sort of round figures rather than being on number 98 or 192. We need to get those numbers up. So thank you very much, black-collared barbet. That was beautiful. What a lovely sighting of you. Let's see if anyone else is here. I'm just going to go stealth mode. We'll just roll quietly and maybe we'll find someone. You know what I'm starting to think? I wonder if these lion tracks are not the same one that Byron actually had too. Because through here they look slightly fresher. But where we were earlier it was a bit difficult to tell. Just lots of go-away birds around here. Oh, Tally, you said that bird was number 87. Good job. Oh, you've got a few more to go. We'll try and... Oh. Chitty Chatty Meg, you're only on number 4. We need to get those numbers up. Right, let's see what else we can find. I can't believe the birds are right in the top of the tree. It's impossible for us to see them. We've tried to tackle on the jackalberries many times, and with their dense foliage, it's impossible. And we'll try and see who else is here. We've seen the African green duns already. We've got the black-collared barbet. Ooh, Heather, there's a nice figure. You said that black-collared barbet was 124. Well done, Heather. That's great. Right, now, where are the rest of them? We could potentially see lots of birds. We've seen turtle doves already. Just trying to think. There's absolutely nothing around here. I'm looking on the knobthorn trees that are flowering for any sunbirds. But sadly, there's not much. Obviously not an active food party moving through here. Bird party. I can hear them. Where are you? There were some starlings, but there's some other things that I can hear moving here. Are you sister killers that I'm listening to? Let's just have a look. I can hear lots and lots of birds. Now, yeah, there's definitely a food party coming through here. Now, oh, can we go to this tree, this side? Sorry, Craig, I know you're looking on... there's a whole lot. There's chugras moving through here. Hear them. There they go. That's them bouncing around there. And that looks... Open your mouth. What one are you? Prinia or you a rattling sister killer? Might have been a rattling sister killer because I could hear the rattling sister killers just now. And that's hard to tell from here. There's even a drongo that's trying to mimic a rattling sister killer. There's another one just a little bit further down. We should be able to see it. Right, there we go. Also very, very busy. Going about its morning sort of grooming rituals. Nope. Where the chuggers gone? The chuggers are so quick. They were making lots of noise. They seem to be flying away now. Oh, they're all moving off. So it's just a little bird party of LBJs. And then the other thing is it's not the greatest, obviously, with the colour of the sky at the moment. The birds sort of drown out in the light. Let's keep going. Let's see if we can find another food party that's actually willing to cooperate. Apparently, this lot over here does not care to be on the show. Okay, well, we'll keep searching and hopefully we'll be able to add a couple more birds to all of your lists, maybe some interesting ones. Byron, however, oh, hang on. Blue waxbills. Just here in front. Sorry, Megan, I know you, and I'm not supposed to do that. I was being very naughty. Look how beautiful they are. And they're still there. They just jumped a couple of high. There's a whole lot of them. Also, again, another gregarious bird. Oh, they're so pretty. Also, all fluffed up. Very chirpy little birds. Let's see if we can hear them making a call. They're very sort of... They don't make much noise. When they're in a group together, yes, then they make quite a loud noise. Otherwise they just make these very sort of soft little I can't do it very well either. I'm not very good at making bird calls, just some of them. That's so precious though. What a lovely sighting. You can see there were quite a few of them there. Oh, that was lovely. I'm happy. There we go. Another one. Blue waxbills. Also quite difficult to get on camera because, as you saw, they don't like to sit still for very long unless they open up their wings and give themselves a preen. But I know that we have got... Oh, no, another one. Emerald spotted wood dove. Oh, they're all just landing in exactly the same spot. That's one we haven't got this morning. Another beautiful one. Wonder why they're all flying to this termite mound. And off it goes. Should we wait to see who else flies down onto the termite mound? There is someone else hopping around. There we go. Someone's flying up top. Who are you? Jump up a little bit higher, please. I can't tell what you are. Interesting coloured bird. Unfortunately, I missed that completely. I have no idea what we were just looking at. Trying to spot some more. No. Okay. I don't know what that was. If you got some screenshots, you can hashtag safariLIVE and send them to us, and then I'll try and identify it a little bit later. Or if you managed to get a better view than I did, and you can stare at the picture for a little bit, let us know. Hashtag safariLIVE. You can tell Megan to tell me, and it'll be great to find out. But it had interesting colours of it. But there's some nasty gremlins that I can see waiting around the corner, spears in hand. So before they jump on my car, let's go across to Byron, and he's arrived at the biggest dam we have to see.
I have indeed, Taylor. I'm at Chitwa Dam. We haven't had any further luck with signs of predators. Lovely morning here. It is still a bit overcast, still a lot of cloud cover around. Bit of the sun peeking through the clouds there. A lot of hippo activity. All the animals are still in the water. The hippo, crocodiles, and they'll probably stay in the water when it is cool like this. When the temperature is much colder, these animals prefer staying in the water. Now, someone from Chitwa told me that they had a leopard near camp last night, and it doesn't look like it moved too far. It's possibly still in the area. So that's also why I decided to come out and have a look around there. Maybe we get lucky and find a leopard. We've got a tire that looks like it's going flat. I'm not sure. That wouldn't be good. Senzo, did you practice changing tires in the Mara? Yeah, we did. Right. Senzo says he got stuck with Brent a few times. Brent gets stuck a lot. No, I'm just joking. A lot of bird life around here. Look at all the blacksmith lapwings just off behind me over here. Quite a big group. A lot of Egyptian geese. Sinatra, now you say you haven't been to Chitwa Dam with us before. Well, welcome. A beautiful dam, this really, really lovely dam. And we always have something exciting happening, whether it be a group of blacksmith lapwings like this or elephants coming to swim. Senzo's bent over in laughter behind me at the moment. He says that was a quick one. Oh dear, Senzo, you see, I think he's been in the Mara too long. I can hear a woodpecker knocking in the distance. Bearded woodpecker. Cat lover, I think the most common bird we find here, just at the dam itself, would definitely be the Egyptian geese. There they are. There we go. Egyptian geese, definitely the most common bird around the dam, I would say. The blacksmith lapwings, or blacksmith plovers, blacksmith lapwing, they're also quite an abundant bird and quite common around the dams. What else? I suppose the water thickneys, they'll be hiding around here too, the water thickneys. Some of the green-backed herons, they're often around here. So a number of birds, but definitely the lapwings and the Egyptian geese, they are always here. You can see the hippo just below this dead tree. There's a young one towards the back there. There it is. See there? There's a young hippo. Sticking its head out, watching us. So these blacksmith lapwings can make quite a noise. Mr. P from Canada. Hello, Mr. P. Now, you asked, are the Egyptian geese from Egypt? No, not necessarily. I think it's the markings, the facial markings, and that is how they get the name Egyptian geese. But they're not. They're found all over South Africa, everywhere. The golf courses, and various areas around Johannesburg, Cape Town, all over. They littered with Egyptian geese. They really have taken over almost in most parts. I'm just trying to scan to see if there's anything coming down to drink perhaps, but I don't see anything for now. Mary, you say Chitwa is oh so pretty. It is indeed. I must be honest, I think this camp has got such a lovely view of the dam, and they always, I'm sure they see a lot around here. Chitwa. Around the dam. I mean, we've been so lucky with the amount of elephant in that we see coming down to drink here. It's a good source of water for a lot of animals, and I wouldn't be surprised if at night they get a lot of animals like lion and leopard coming down to drink too. Hold on a second, hold on. I can hear an alarm call, wait. It's coming from that side. Alright, I can hear what sounds like kudu or Inyala. It's quite far. It's on the other side of the dam, everyone. In that direction. It's coming from there. That's good. That's a good sign. Alright, let's see if we can find.
Hello everybody, sorry about that. The gremlins are jumping on board this morning, but Byron should be fine. He's of course Muscles McGee. Right, what are we going to do now, Craig? I don't know if he's actually gone down to check the western corner, so that's where we'll be heading now. We're on Pangolin track at the moment. We've just come past Rye Chele Pan. I think Byron's actually already come down this road. We'll just go over it again, and then maybe we'll go down Philemon's cut line and then take the new road and start like that as we bounce around. These were some sticks. Oh, hang on. You see, I can't. There's. Okay. So it's not in an area where you can drive. It sounds like Tingana has been found. I think it's in Buffels Hook, which is exciting. It sounds like he's got a kill as well. Unfortunately, my game drive comms are not fantastic. Everyone sounds like they're speaking in a robot voice, and it cuts out every now and then, so I can't get 100% sort of update. And now we're going to turn the radio completely off. You can imagine what it sounds like now. Everyone responding to the first cat of the day. So we will go and try and find our own. But yes, that's good to hear that Tingana is about. There was a gentleman by the name of Carl asking earlier about Mr. T. Well, there we go. Got your update now if you are still watching. Okay, so we're back on Weaver's Nest. I'm trying to think, where did Byron have these elephants? Because there's lots of elephant tracks around here. So we saw them coming from Inyala Road south and then heading this way. They might be around. Maybe we'll try and follow up on them again. I know they were walking through a block, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll wait for them to come out and then we'll try and go in those areas. But I do want to okay. So it was one bull heading in a westerly direction on Weaver's Nest. Well, we're going west on Weaver's Nest, so we're obviously going in the right spot, and I reckon that bull would have been tailing a breeding herd. That's what they typically like to do. So we'll just keep moving at a steady pace, and hopefully the grey giants will pop out somewhere. Beep beep, excuse me, Crested Franklin. Now, Kobe, you were wondering if we get distracted. Not distracted. I don't even know why I said. Why did I say distracted? I have absolutely no idea. The word was actually frustrated when we can't find the animals that we track. Of course we do, but you know what it is, Kobe? We're so disappointed in ourselves, especially if those tracks haven't crossed out of our traverse, and we know that they're here somewhere. It's the most disheartening thing in the entire world. And I'll never forget when I was guiding and I was working with a tracker, for him it was basically like he couldn't do his job properly, and because that's what he specialized in, is track and sign and trailing animals and then finding them. So yeah, you definitely do get frustrating, but it's just part of the game. It's just one of those things, I suppose, and you just have to deal with it. You know, nature disappoints us constantly. I mean, you've seen it. You'll just miss an animal by a couple of seconds. Gone. Never find it again. Is that an elephant? I don't know if that's an elephant or just a green tree. No, I think I'm going to go with green tree. I'm just scanning across the valley. No, not an elephant. Not the elephants that we were looking for. I think we'll stay with our sort of plan here. We'll keep going down Philemon's cut line, and then we'll take that new road and we'll drive along it. Yeah, there really hasn't been anybody. Everyone's actually moved on to Buffels Hook. I wonder where the Nkahuma Pride are. I also haven't heard about their whereabouts at all. It's, oh, Kudu, you look like a tree. You're very camouflaged. It's working very well. You fooled me for a second. That was amazing. The direction that we were coming from, she's just hiding behind a couple of shrubs, but it really did break up her complete sort of shape into bits and pieces. So that really fooled me until we drove past her, and then I saw the rest of her. So that was quite nice. Thank you, girl. Isn't she beautiful? I'm doing a big stretch. Oh, there's nothing quite like a stretch first thing in the morning. Oh, she's just nibbling away, and there are a couple of other kudu, but they're even more camouflaged. I don't think you'll really see them. But it's uncommon to just see one kudu all on its own. This is the normal sighting that we do have of them. Now, Michael, you're wondering if overgrazing is ever a problem in the bush. I haven't seen it here just yet, and I reckon that's because there's such a massive area for these animals to move around in, and they'll graze the grass down to a certain length, and then they normally move off. You know where I did see a lot of overgrazing was down in the Eastern Cape. You typically will see it on the fenced private game reserves. So not all the game reserves out there are like the greater Kruger National Park, where the animals have got 8.5 million acres to roam around, and the typical size of a game reserve, it can be any size. It just depends on, I suppose, how much money you have to purchase land. But the one I worked on down Eastern Cape was about 25,000 hectares or so, somewhere around there. So about, what's that, maybe 55,000 acres, something like that. So quite big, a nice space, more traverse than what we have to drive around on at the moment. And the animals can't migrate naturally. They're limited to that 25,000 hectares, and you'd often see on the big open areas. And also the Eastern Cape doesn't have a lot of grass. The animals would suffer, and we'd see it quite a bit. The warthogs cause serious devastation. What has she got on her eye? Piece of leaf that's just stuck there. That's nice. Perhaps she's going to a fancy dress party. Or is it a thorn that's also stuck in her eye? I'm not actually sure. No, I think it's just the leaf. And the flies are bothering her too. She looks like she needs a bit of a groom. Well, Bombo Girl, you said that she's such a delicate eater. They are. They're not sort of like us as humans, or even the lions and leopards that are so gutsy. And, sometimes you have to remind yourself to breathe. They are very delicate the way that they pick at the leaves, but they're also searching for the tastiest, the sweetest, and the youngest leaves. They don't want to necessarily eat the older leaves that aren't as palatable. Is that delicious? She seems to be enjoying that tree quite a bit. Oh, there's an oxpecker. Hello, oxpecker. Mischief, you say, oh, those ears. Yes, they've got very, very large ears. It's very important for a kudu, of course, to have them, to be able to hear any predators that come towards them. Remember, they do live in the very, very thick vegetation, so it's one of their defenses that they rely on quite heavily. But we'll move on from these kudu now. We'll go search the new road, as we said, for perhaps a spotted cat. Byron, however, is having all the luck. He's got a herd of my absolute favorite animals.
We do indeed. We've just found a wonderful herd of elephant. Some babies. They are just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There are about 16 or 17 elephants around us now. And there was some more not too far now. I wonder if this herd isn't possibly going to go drink down at Djuma Dam. Oh, this is wonderful. Look at this. That is amazing. Comes a big female. How great is this? They're walking very quickly down in the direction of Djuma Dam. So I wonder if they don't go down to drink. What I'm going to do is I'll circle back and just go have a look if they do go down. That would be wonderful to see. That's a big female walking down the road there. Beautiful female. Chitty Chatty Meg, you say this is perfect. It is indeed. It really is wonderful. Hey, what a nice surprise. Now I went and had a look where I heard those alarm calls. Couldn't find anything, but also it was down a deep drainage line, and we wouldn't have had signal down there anyway if we did find something. But I couldn't find the kudu that we heard alarm calling. I had a quick look around, a brief look though. Let's see where these elephant go. Wow, this is such a wonderful herd. A big herd and some really small ones. Young, well, quite a few youngsters. I wonder where they are going, if they are going to go down to drink. It's quite cool, so I don't know if they will. But then again, elephants will drink when they're thirsty. It doesn't necessarily have to be hot or cold. Moving very quickly. That whole herd was moving very, very quickly. That's why it makes me think that they are heading towards the water. Often elephants get quite excited when they know they're getting close to water, and they start walking a lot quicker. Yeah, a few of them are just ahead of us. So, quite a big herd spread out. No, David, the kudu would not alarm call for the elephant, not at all. There's no reason for the kudu to alarm call that elephant. I'm just going to stop, hold on a second, just over here. Oh, look at that. No, David, so the kudu wouldn't alarm call at the other herbivores. It's only if there's a predator around that the other animals would alarm call. Hold on a second, let me just go forward. Oh, look at that. You see those three youngsters, they all look around about the same age. Do you see that? They're all more or less, I would say they're probably 2 years old, somewhere around there. You know what I might do, and this predictive guiding. We joke about it and we say it's not ideal, but sometimes it works. Sometimes you get it right, and I think these elephants are heading down to the water. And what I may do is actually shoot ahead of them and stop and wait quietly and see if they do come down to drink. It could work. It could not. Let me do that. I'm going to go stop, and hopefully we get a nice section with no signal issues, and we'll see you all shortly again. Let's head back to Taylor.
Elephants everywhere. I'm so glad for you, Byron. Unfortunately, you haven't got elephants anywhere, just their tracks. Now, we just popped onto the new road, and we're searching for any sign of life. It's getting quite chilly now, and the wind is definitely picking up, which is not ideal. But we can't do anything about the weather now, can we? And then I've been thinking the entire time about potentially what bird our mystery bird could have been. We didn't get a very good view of it. Now I was waiting to see the eye and the beak, and that's the part that I missed. We could just see its back. I wonder if it wasn't a black-backed puffback, because it was black and white. It had mottled black and white feathers. But I'll have to check once I see one of those images after drive. I'll have a look. But I reckon it could have been one of those, because it was quite a big bird. It definitely wasn't small enough to be a battus or a southern black tit. It was something larger, even bigger than a chugra, slightly bigger than a chugra. I'm going to go with black-back puffback, but I'll have a look afterwards, and then I shall tweet out what I think my final answer will be. So I still have not ever seen leopard track on this road, or a leopard, but maybe today is going to be the day. There's lots of zebra tracks around here, plenty of zebra. No zebra to go with those tracks, sadly. But I think this would also be a nice area to see that ostrich that keeps walking onto the property, and I also wonder, when are we going to see that ostrich? Because we see its tracks enough. We're bound to bump into it, and I hope it's me that bumps into it, because I would really like to see that ostrich, and because it's been haunting me. Megan is convinced that someone's just playing tricks with me. She says someone's gone out and put ostrich footprints down on the ground just to tease me, which wouldn't be too unlikely. Right, let me focus here and check these termite mounds, because I know Shadow likes to stash her little ones on the tops of the mounds. No leopard tracks just yet. Now, Anne, you were actually wondering if we found ostrich tracks. Sure, we have before, but I haven't seen any today. And when did I see some? I saw some the other day. I can't even remember when it was. Was it perhaps... I don't know. Hello, Hornbill. There's a yellow-billed hornbill right in front of the car. What are you doing? No, but that's so awkward now, because now I don't think... Yes, now your head is chopped off. Can you please come back to the position that you were on the floor earlier, where you were out in the open? Mr. Hornbill? Very chatty. He's cleaning his beak now, as you can see, rubbing it on the plants, and off he flies. Where are you going to go? Still sort of hiding away. He's just flown to a better perch on the marula tree. Yes, you won't wobble around so much now if you rub your beak on the branch that you're standing on. Wonder where your friend is. Or your mate. You haven't got one just yet. You're still searching. And off he goes. Bye-bye. A lovely question from Chitty Chatty Meg. Thank you for this one. And that is, do birds get ticks and fleas? Most certainly. They normally get a type of a bird lice, and they will definitely have ticks on them as well. I have every sort of bird that I have found that's died in the bush, I can't help myself, but I have had a little scratch around and moving around the feathers. I've never found any particularly big sort of grey ticks, you know, the typical ones that we see on the animals, those really big fat ones, or bond ticks I've never found on birds, but they're much smaller, slightly larger than that of a pepper tick, but though I'm sure they get covered in pepper ticks too. There's another type of tick, and I don't know if it's a specific tick that requires a bird host. It wouldn't surprise me if that was the case, though, because there's so many parasites out here that are host specific. So we'll do some searching about that. I've actually got a very nice insect book, which we'll have a look at. I'll do that when I get home. It's a perfect day to actually do a bit of reading. Right, I'm not going to carry on chatting too much. Let's go across to Byron. He's got an owl.
Now, the predictive guiding did not pay off. The elephant decided to change direction. They headed into a thicket. They didn't go down. I'm just joking. I was correct. They are going down to drink. I can see they're moving back now to the dam. But I heard an owl call, and we managed to find this beautiful pearl-spotted owl. Look at that. Now, you all know how much I'm enjoying these owls at the moment. We are seeing so many of them, and it's wonderful. The main reason is because there are not many leaves around, so it's a bit easier to spot them. But they are really well camouflaged, and they do hide, so it is always wonderful to see one. And you can see those beautiful black markings behind the head, or on the back of the head, and very distinct markings for a pearl-spotted owl, pearl-spotted owlet. Telly, you say owls are your favorite birds. Good, Telly. Well, I'm so glad. Now, all right. Louis is the owl whisperer. I don't think so. I've just been very fortunate. But it's so great to see this little pearl-spotted owlet. Now, these elephants have headed down to the dam. They ran past, turned, changed direction, went straight to the water. So why don't I reposition again? Lovely view of that owl. We'll leave the owl, go and see and watch these elephants drinking. I'll try to get us a nice position with no signal issues. Okay. I'm just going to stay here for a second. I think Taylor was just off the vehicle for a second, but you can see those elephants, they're all down at the bottom to my right. They are all down at the dam. So I was right. They all went straight down to drink. You could just see in the way they were walking. But it was funny. They changed direction. They headed basically off behind us through a thicket, and then they turned and went back to the water. So I wonder why they did that. But it's amazing to see how the whole herd were walking very, very quickly, and they all started this little bit of a trot down towards the water. But then they came past us this way and headed through into the thicket behind me. So I thought maybe they just decided not to go and drink, but then they turned and they came out again on the other side. So we'll try to get a nice view of them quickly. Okay, let me try get a better position before we lose signal just in this little dip. Let's head back to Taylor and then we'll get a view of the elephant for you.
Well, I'm very excited for you, Byron. You have now completed the owls, the trio of owls. You had you've had the Scops owl, the African Scops owl. Then you got the barred owlet and now the pearl-spotted owlet. So well done to you, because I know that's been bugging you for quite some time. The owl whisperer, I believe all of you are calling Byron. Oh my goodness, what a hoot. What else are we going to do now? I'm trying to think. We just, Craig and I are having some breakfast. I had a nachi, which is like tangerine. It's delicious. Then I was telling a story about Craig, because he says, I thought you don't like nachis. And I said, well, I absolutely love them, but my body hates them. I have a little bit of an intolerance, I suppose you could say, to vitamin C, and I typically can break out in hives if I eat too many, and that's because when I was a kid I would eat like 10, probably even more every single day at school. It was my favorite thing in the whole world. Now I'm too scared because it's very itchy. There we go, just a random fact in case you were wondering. What have we got here? Nothing. Not one leopard track. So we're still not having any luck with the cats. So we're going to go down towards Impala Plains. I did have a chat to Rexon now as well while we were off air, and I managed to decipher his robot voice, and he'd said to me that Tingana is indeed in Buffelshoek, which is unfortunate for us, but he's on an Impala kill. So that's quite nice. Excuse me. Now I'm going to sneeze. Joy. Thank you, Megan. There might be another sneeze coming along now. I'm not sure. It's building up. Am I going to? And I don't want to start another topic and then sneeze halfway through. It's the worst thing in the whole world. Oh, no, it's not the worst thing in the whole world. I could think of a lot worse things. It's an inconvenience. Okay. Not going to sneeze. Not going to start a new topic. Instead, I'm going to send you across to Byron. And finally, the elephants have arrived at Chitwa Dam.
They have indeed. They have indeed. Taylor, I must admit I enjoyed your little joke about it being a hoot that I'm an owl whisperer. I thought that was very funny. And just as we thought. Elephants coming down to drink. It's always it's always wonderful. It's always wonderful when you say something might happen as a guide and it does actually happen. And I mean, when we first found them, they were walking very quickly, and I thought immediately that they must be heading down to the water. So it is always wonderful when that does happen. Michael, you asked how far can an elephant herd travel? Michael, it's hard to say. It depends on the availability of food and water. So summer, they won't need to move around as much, but in winter, they can cover huge distances. Probably 10, 15 kilometers in a day, perhaps. Sorry, my wires are getting tangled here. Still quite chilly, sure. See, and it's funny though, herds like this, they drink quite quickly. They don't hang around the water for very long. And it's usually when the youngster. I suppose it does depend. I suppose at the moment it's very cool. It's not hot, so they just came down to drink. They didn't splash around in the water or swim. But for them to come down, drink quickly, and then move off again and start feeding, and especially with the youngsters, the herds are always very cautious when they've got these young elephant with them. Jono, you say what an amazing scene, and it is. It is so special to see herds of elephant like this come down and drink and spend time around the water. I love seeing them, especially when all these young ones are with them. Oh, now there's a bit of drizzle going on at the moment. That's not good. Hope it doesn't rain. Oh, I mean, I hope it does rain once drive is finished. Not now. And just as quickly as these elephant got down to the water, they've had a drink and moved off. Now, from our very, very large grey animals, Taylor's got some small grey animals she wants to show you.
We do! Warthogs! Now, I've also seen some male leopard tracks around here, and these warthogs were very skittish a moment ago. They just heard the sound of my voice and raced off in the opposite direction, which was surprising because they're out in the open. So I think that this would be a semi-good spot for a warthog because they don't have the best eyesight. And I think being out in the open then allows you to see a little bit better rather than hiding away in the thick stuff. Let's go around though. Let's see if we can get a better view. They're quite far away from us. I don't know where the leopard tracks have gone now. There was just a couple of them on the road coming in this direction. We'll just have to check here. Maybe Mvula's been walking around here. It's definitely a possibility. No, I can't see any tracks now. Let's see the warthogs again. Woo, bumpy. No, off they go. I think they're going to cross the... Are you going to cross the road? What are you going to do, pigs? No, they're running further and further into the thicket. We'll try again. The sow up in front, though, is just very uneasy. There's one at the back who is quite relaxed. I think we might actually leave these warthogs. Even the warthogs need to be respected, not just the big animals. So I think we'll let them run away and settle down, but I'll send you back across to Byron with his grey animals, and they seem to be a lot more relaxed.
They have definitely calmed down now quite a lot. They moved off slowly. It was just, I think, that initial excitement of heading down to the dam. Also, because there are youngsters around, the elephant are still cautious, and they we could probably say they get a little bit nervous when approaching a dam. Just they're not sure if there's potential predators around. Now we know that in this area, chances of anything going for a big herd of elephant like this, the lions, very, very unlikely. But in other parts of Africa, the lions do hunt elephant, so they're always still cautious. But you could see there's an excitement. I think, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's probably just the excitement of getting to the water. They know there's water up ahead. They're going to get a drink. And you see how slowly they're moving away now. Really completely different behavior to when they were coming down into this area. They were moving very quickly from when we first found them. And especially coming down this hill towards the dam, they get that bit of a swagger, bit of a little trot going on. I don't know if you can call it a trot, but the elephant trot. But that was great. Perfect timing. And we got to see an owl. So I'm very happy, very excited. Elephant, owls, giraffe this morning. No cats, unfortunately. Not yet, anyway. But we still have some time. You never know. I might head back into that area where I had those tracks of that male leopard. Now, I heard they found Tingana, it sounded like, on Buffelshoek. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually walked through from the southern boundary all the way through to the northern boundary. They can easily do that in an evening, especially a male leopard like that. Especially a male leopard like that, he can cover a huge distance. But we'll see. Maybe we bump into something a little bit later. Senzo, I think it was a bit too soon to panic for our tyre. It looks fine. Tina, the elephants trumpet for a number of reasons. It's mostly communication. So they will communicate with each other when they are trumpeting. The young elephant get quite... Oh, let's see if that elephant's going to go down there. Is it? That's interesting. Look at that. Now, Tina, the elephants will trumpet, especially the youngsters, trumpet when they are upset, when they perhaps not getting water from the mothers, when they're not getting milk, when they are trying to suckle and the females are weaning them off the milk. The youngsters get very upset and they trumpet and they make a loud noise. But look at that. Isn't that amazing? Going straight down, and that embankment's quite steep. Now, elephants have the ability to climb up and down very steep areas. I've seen in Zimbabwe almost climbing up parts of cliffs, that certain sections of cliffs that these elephants are able to get up and over. It's amazing. So Tina, the elephant will also trumpet if they feel threatened. If there's a pride of lions, for example, around, those elephants will trumpet and they'll chase them to warn them off or to try to chase them away. They trumpet if we get too close. If they're unhappy with the vehicles, elephants will trumpet. So it's all communication, but mainly for a warning or a call of distress almost. I suppose that would be the best way to describe the trumpet of an elephant. They've got a few other ways of communicating. Oh, excuse me. Oh, sure, sorry. There's some more coming back this way. See, the herd split, so I wouldn't be surprised if those other elephants haven't had a drink yet, and they might be coming through to drink now. Anna, you asked what is the largest herd of elephants that I've seen. Anna, I think the largest herd I've seen is probably about 80 to 100 strong, 100, just over 100. Having a look here. There's some wonderful birds flying around. Just double check something quickly. Looks like we've got some wire-tailed swallows over there. I think those are the wire-tailed swallows. I just want to double check quickly. Nice view of them sitting on the ground. Just seeing, because we get a few different swallows around, but the barn swallows and most of the other swallows have migrated. So those are the little wire-tailed swallows, those little ones with a very white breast. And they are here throughout the year. You know, those look like little wire-tailed swallows flying around here, but there was another. Wow, that was so quick. Yeah, almost certain. Wire-tailed swallows. I'll try to show you a nice image of one. That's them. You can actually see. This is a lovely picture of them. So we could see there's a bit of a grey head on them. And those are the younger ones over there. You could see that, but they're very white breast. And a lot of these that we saw here was some of the younger ones. But that's the adult with the little brown head. Try to see if we can get another one for you. And then we've got some other swallows around here too. Just hold on a second. So it's not just the... Yeah, those are definitely... Double checking. Oh, those are the wire-tailed. But then there's some other swallows sitting up in the tree above us. Now, I wonder if these are not Mosque swallows. I haven't seen them for a while. I'll just double check. Sorry everyone, I'm just having a good look. The colour at the moment, looking into this grey sky is making it difficult. But there, that's a nice view of them. See that rufous belly? I just want to see if there's a bit of blue on the head. I can't really see. Looks like there is. Well, it actually... To make it easier for us, it can't be anything else. Now, I'm not sure if any of you have seen the Mosque swallows before, but those are the Mosque swallows. That's lovely. I haven't seen them on safariLIVE yet, but we do get them in this area from time to time, but not often. But those are, I'm just having another good look. I just want to be 100% sure, because we don't see the Mosque swallows often. No, guaranteed it is. It is a Mosque swallow. That's wonderful. Now, they generally like baobab trees, in fact. But I have seen them down in the Sabi Sands before, and they enjoy these dead trees. They'll often go and roost in the dead trees from time to time. Wow, Marco, you say the Mosque swallow is number 234 for your list. That's a very decent list, Marco, for safariLIVE. Wow. See, they're generally scarce. Taylor, you say 91 for you. That's wonderful. So, as I was saying, the Mosque swallows are generally scarce. So, it's wonderful to see them around. But, so pearl-breasted swallows and Mosque swallows. Like I said, I haven't seen Mosque swallows in this area for... Oh, I'm trying to think now. Must be a few years, actually. Yeah, I think so. It's probably a few years since I last saw some Mosque swallows. And I just, you know what I'm also going to do is I'm checking my app, but I'm checking the bird book too. I want to make 100% sure, but I'm sure all of you can agree with me that they are Mosque swallows. If you look at that rufous color down the... If you look at the rufous down the front of the bird, or the belly, and then they've got a white throat and a bit of rufous, what would appear, I suppose you could say, behind the ear. There's a bit of that rufous brown coloration, bluish wings, blue tinge to the wings, and then a bluish head. Now you probably can't see that blue very clearly because the sun isn't shining on it, but it definitely, they do have that blue coloration. That is wonderful. Mosque swallows, nice. I have not seen them, as I said, for quite some time. So what a great morning. Even though we've got grey skies, Taylor is also driving around under these grey skies. I hope she's not depressed because of the grey skies. Let's go cheer her up.
I'm so depressed. No, I'm not. Oh, sorry, Warthog, did I scare you away? Oh, no. And I'm rolling. Craig, the wheels are falling off the wagon this morning. It is cold and it's miserable and there's bitter spatters of rain. Can you believe it? Hopefully we don't actually get any rain because we will be in a bit of trouble. But there is a small family of warthogs. Let me go forward for you, Craig. Perhaps we will get a better view if they do not run away. Now, I've only really been seeing impala and warthog this morning, and kudu, and footprints of many other animals, but none that want to reveal themselves to us. Please stay, warthogs. Pretty please, just for like 5 minutes, and then you can go, and then it'll be acceptable to move on. Oh, off they go. Anyways, that's quite a great view. I love it when a warthog puts its tail in the air and races off. They look very nervous though, and you see they kept putting on the brakes. So I wonder if they're not picking up a scent coming from that direction. I've also been listening to the game drive radio. It seems like there are some lions found again in Buffelshoek. I don't know which pride it is, if it's the Torchwood pride or the Nguma pride. But they said there's also a lot of vulture activity around one area, and it's in the area where those zebra were alarming this morning that we're trying to follow up on. So we're going to go past that way again and see if we can pick up on anything. Can also hear a squirrel going absolutely ballistic, but that could be for a bird or a snake as well. It's okay, young lady. Don't worry. I promise we're not going to eat you. Byron's not here. He was talking about how tasty warthogs are. Don't worry, we'll keep him away from you. Nancy, you said that you love how they run. I think so too. I think they must be the cutest runners out there. I mean, who puts their tail up like that? That's ridiculous. Obviously, it's very important for a warthog. To you and I, it looks quite silly, but that's how they follow each other in that very long grass. Now, it's not particularly long anymore, as you all know. We've got another character who's a yellow-billed hornbill who's singing a beautiful tune. Maybe he's going to do a display for us in a moment. Seeing as though there's not much else about, we might as well make the most of what we've got over here. Hello, fella. You can hear him going. That was me. Let's see if he responds. Yeah, I don't think he's responding to me though. I don't think I'm his type. I think he prefers a bird with more feathers. So funny today. I'm ridiculous. Megan gave me a ha 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 from Final Control. Yes, I know, it was quite sad. It's miserable out here. I need to try and find ways to entertain all of you. The animals aren't partaking, so we'll probably just have to deal with my lame jokes. Luckily, Byron's got animals, because can you imagine if he had lame jokes coming from both cars? Oh my goodness, you'd probably switch it all off. Right, he's not doing much. I thought he was going to open his wings for us and flap them about. What am I doing now, Craig? Or not what am I doing? What are we doing? I'm trying to decide. I want to have another look at Sydney's dam, because if there is activity around here, this is the closest watering hole, and if, say, the lions had maybe caught a zebra or something along those lines and they were wanting to have a drink, they'd have to come this way. We could still catch them. And because it is nice and cool, we can't rule out that the cats are not going to be around. They could easily still keep moving about on this chilly morning. This is actually going to be a great day ready to do some reading, because this is very uninspiring weather to go out for a run. Hey Craig? Maybe we'll just have to settle for some gym, some skipping and all that. What's down there? I thought I saw something. It could have just been a pile of elephant dung. I thought I saw a bird. No, it's even worse. It's a stick. Let's quickly go have a look at the dam. We just check this open area and go over these little bumpy bumps. Let's check here. Just trying to get to a spot where it's slightly open so you can have a scan and you can have a look around. It's quite quiet. It's very Now, I walk in the rain. You're wondering how often do they drag the road with tires? They actually do it fairly frequently. Normally, they'll grade the road properly. They'll put the we'll get the grading machine out, the actual grading machine. And we do that just after rain, once the roads dry up just a little bit. Now what they're doing is, like you've just said, they're just dragging tires to sort of level it all out, and they're almost doing it every day. It's quite a long process. They drag it with tractors, so they can't go particularly fast, so they aren't able to do all the roads in one day, but they'll just keep doing it. There's a constant team dedicated to the road maintenance in the Sabi Sand, so they're always out and about. And sometimes Rexon even takes charge on Djuma, and he'll go out and do his own bit of work too. Nothing at Sydney's dam. I thought we were really going to catch something. Right, we're going to go back up Buffelshoek boundary now, though. Right, we're going to go all the way back up. We will check the hyena den again. I think it's been long enough, given them an opportunity to pop out. Byron has moved on from his Chitwa experience. Let's see what roads he's going to take next.
So I'm going to head back down towards that Twin Dams area, just see if we have any luck with the predator around there. It's quite cold, but we've got a group of Inyala walking past us. There's a young male, and then you'll see the females coming through. They are beautiful. I do enjoy the Inyala very, very much. I must be honest, I'm really excited about seeing those Mosque swallows. I haven't seen them for a very long time, so it's wonderful to see them again. And they do occur in the area, but not very often. So I remember one year working at Londolozi, the only time I saw the Mosque swallows. There were also big leadwood trees, and the Mosque swallows went, and they were hanging around there for a week or two. And the guys would get very excited when they saw them. They'd call them in on the radio and say they are Mosque swallow. And look what else I've found. African hawk eagle, everyone. Wonderful. Look at that. Perched there. Yes, that is brilliant. Look at that beautiful African hawk eagle. Now I wonder where the other one is. They are usually in pairs. So I'm sure the other one is around here somewhere. Now this bird will be perched up there, having a look around for francolin, guinea fowl, possibly rodents, and it'll hunt from the perch of a tree like that. What a great morning. Oh, we've been very lucky. Look at that, the way it's scanning. This is Sammy Jane. You excited? It's another bird of prey. I'm also very excited. I always enjoy seeing these birds of prey. Where is the other one? Looking around, trying to see if I can spot it. And I'm almost certain there would be another one around here somewhere. Because they, as I said, they are generally in pairs. Snazzy, you say it's such a beautiful bird. It is. They are lovely. The African hawk eagle. A really sharp beak. Julian, you say you love the fat fluffy legs. Yeah, and you see they've got the feathers all the way down the legs. Just scanning these other trees around here. trying to see if I can find the other one. Some male impala chasing each other in the distance, but because I just heard a few grunts, I'm just having a look. Oh, there's an African fish eagle calling in the distance. Probably the one that hangs around Chitwa Dam. We didn't see it while we were there. Maybe it's returned to the dam. Possibly hiding in another tree somewhere. Wouldn't it be amazing to see this hawk eagle swoop down and catch something? Vombo girl. Let me just have a look here quickly. That's, you know what, that actually, wow, look at that, he's quite low down there. Can you see him, Senzo? Must I reverse a little bit? Let me just reverse a touch here. Is that alright? There we go. There's an, oh, sorry, there's a beautiful gap through there. Look at that. Now, Vombo girl, the food, so as I said, mainly birds like francolins and guinea fowl and that, but I would say, let me just check here what they say the largest prey might be. As I said, possibly, you know, rodents or scrub hares or something in the grass. Also rock hyrax, or a dussie, but a rock hyrax. We do get them in these areas, in the rocky areas. See them around. So I would say probably the size of a hyrax or a hare. That would most likely be the largest prey that they take. They do say that they'd also hunt bush babies. I suppose if they manage to find a bush baby during the day. Oh, there it goes. Oh, it's still sitting. Perched on that other tree. Paul, oh, no, I'm probably going to get this wrong. You asked, what is the biggest bird of prey that we have here? The largest eagle that we get here, let's double check, Paul. Maybe let's double check. Okay, so the largest eagle that we have in this area, I would say, is probably the Marshall eagle. So let's double check size. I suppose the vultures are scavengers, so let's not look at vultures or the marabou storks, because those are very, very large birds. Excuse me, sorry. Those are big birds, much bigger than the eagles. But let's just look at the eagles, for example. I would say the largest bird of prey that hunts for itself, and that must be the Marshall eagle in this area. And I just wanted to show you something quickly. There it goes. But because some of you might have been wondering what is a rock hyrax, let me just show you a quick photo before we go across to Taylor. And if you look down here, Senzo, there we go. That's the rock hyrax, or the dussie, and that is what the African hawk eagle can feed on in certain areas where they do occur. Just so you know what a dussie or a rock hyrax does look like. We don't really see them yet. Not many rocky outcrops around. All right, okay. Now we're going to carry on. Now, I do apologize, Taylor. I know she had some birds. Hopefully they're still around and she can show them to you.
Nope, all gone. Ish. Ah, it was so cool. We had an entire bird party and every one of the members of the bird party had something in their mouth. There was a moth, there was a caterpillar, there was a grasshopper of some sort. It was so great. There was a black-headed oriole, there were white-crested helmet shrikes and fork-tailed drongos. It was a really cool little sighting. Right, let's carry on. Let's go check the hyena den again. Let's try and get there as quick as possible. Starting to rain now too, which is a bit of a nuisance. Hopefully it doesn't rain too much, otherwise we're going to have to put a roof on, which won't be ideal. So not the easiest thing to put back on. Where is this den? I can't see any ears poking up just yet. Oh, I can see a head lying inside the den. It is cold. I think that's a good spot as well. I'm going to go to this one first just because this is such a cute little sighting, and then we'll go across and see the one. And there's Djuma. How cool is this though? Look at that there. I think that's Gwen in the actual burrow. They're obviously quite cold. And you can hear the impala are now alarming at the hyenas. You look miserable and freezing. I think that is Gwen. She's not, I actually don't know. You can let me know which hyena this is. Hashtag safariLIVE. I will actually not make an attempt at guessing who is who. But very, very sleepy. Eyes are heavy. It's probably nice and warm with your body inside that termite mound, keeping out of the wind. So if any of you ever had your doubts about antelope alarming at hyenas, if you listen carefully, you'll hear the the turtle dove, and you'll hear the impalas snorting. Now they've all gone quiet. Because in fact, hyenas are very, very, very good hunters. That looks so comfortable. I'm tempted to go and join this hyena. I think that must be a great spot. And not always that we get to see the adults actually going inside the den at all. Normally they just sleep around it on the outside. All the little ones are always inside there. That is absolutely precious though. Go to sleep, it's okay. But not interested by the snorting impala. And I'm sure these impala are actually coming closer too. Now Vegas Beauty Snob, you say that she looks so precious. She does indeed. As precious as what a hyena could look, especially when it's not a young cub. Craig, should we go have a look at the other one? Now I think that is Gwen in there, and then I can see Djuma and Ribbon. Let me go back. Sorry, Craig. I'll just quickly sneak back here. We'll go down this side. See if we can spot the impala as well. Hi, hyenas. Well, I'm just going to pull off to the side here. Hello, Djuma. Oh, there's our precious little girl suckling. So we must have just missed Mom. You can see she's popped her head up now. She's listening to these impala that are snorting just off to the left of me. Whether she's going to get up and go and chase them, we'll have to just wait and see. Well, there's a whole herd of them. It'll be difficult for you to see, but they're not actually far from these hyenas at all, and they're grooming themselves. So they're definitely acknowledging that there is a predator in the area, but they're not running away from it. And just what normally happens is, of course, the impala know that they're there, so they'll keep an eye out on them. But I don't know if these hyenas are going to go after them. They look fairly fat. Oh, look at that. She's been waiting all night for the return of Mum. And there we go, little girl. Not excited to see us at all. I don't blame her, though. I'm glad she's more excited to see Mom and focused on suckling than really worrying about us at all. But I'm sure once she's had a big drink, she might get a boost of energy and she'll probably come running away this side too and maybe try and bite my tires. But please don't bite Wendy's tires. Wendy doesn't like her tires to be bitten. And I don't think I really want to have to deal with something like that. Naughty little hyenas. Isn't this sweet? Well, we'll stay here for a little bit longer and see what the hyenas get up to, if anything else develops. Oh, listen very quickly, a black-collared barbet. Sorry, I just thought that was completely relevant considering we had one this morning and I was talking about it, wanting to make a call. But Byron has got some animals that have got not spots but stripes. Let's go take a look.
We do indeed. We've now found some zebra. We've been seeing a lot this morning. This is really fantastic. So despite the weather, the grey skies, the animals have been very supportive of us this morning. They've come out to join us. Always nice to see zebra. See how they were grooming one another there? Getting rid of some of the ticks or fleas. And zebra will often do that. Let me move forward a little bit for us. I've got my coffee to try warm up a little bit. So if you're having a little coffee break with us, cheers everyone. And as I said, I do this because we always stop with guests in the mornings. We'll stop for a little coffee break. Nice to stretch your legs a little bit after sitting in the car for so long. I see a male impala chasing some females around here, snorting and grunting and chasing. You see? Oh, he's causing havoc. Don't know why. It's not mating season at the moment. Or ratting season. Not for the impala anyway. Sammy Jane, you said you cheersed your coffee to me. Thank you, Sammy Jane. I hope you're enjoying it. Oh, it's starting to drizzle, everyone. This is strange. And I hope it stops. Just, it's getting a bit harder now. That's not good. Have we got, luckily you've got your, what is that called again, Senzo, that you brought back from your Mara? Shuka. Senzo has brought his shuka with, and he's using his shuka as a cover for the camera to try stop it, because we don't have camera covers for these new cameras. Now we've got black bags, don't we, Senzo? Where are those black bags? We might have to try and cover up a little bit because this drizzle is getting a bit heavier. Oh no, binoculars are getting wet here too. Oh, it's all happening now. The rain and drizzle. Do you need something else? Is that alright? Alright, we're going to try just cover up a little bit here. Let's head back to Taylor and those hyena.
We're still sitting with them, and I think they're just enjoying cuddling up and keeping nice and warm on a miserable day like today. I reckon that those impala were envious, especially of the hyena that's in the burrow. We can't see her just yet, but we'll try and reposition. We've also starting to get quite sort of big raindrops now, which we'll have to watch out for. Now, hyenas, some of you might know this, but they're my second favorite animal, second to the elephants, of course. But just as intelligent, I suppose, and I enjoy watching the social dynamics of spotted hyenas, and I wish we got to see more interactions more often. It's just sometimes it's so difficult to follow them, especially when they move off road and move into the very, very dense vegetation, and they move a whole lot quicker typically than what we see the leopards and the lions doing. because it's not often that the spotted hyenas will choose a walk as their gait. They seem to prefer to sort of go at a trot. They're always on the move, and they can move through those vegetation on the animal pathways very, very quickly. And Timo, you look very happy or curled up. I'm very jealous of that little hyena. For me, that's like having a cup of hot chocolate and a cuddle. Obviously, that little cub is not drinking hot chocolate, though. It's drinking very high protein and fat milk that Mom has supplied. And I reckon they'll probably just lay out like this for most of the day. Unless it starts pouring with rain, then they might head in and look for some shelter. Whether they'd all fit inside this den, I'm not so sure. You saw the other hyena that was at the entrance of the burrow. She's taken up that entire section. And there are 2 other entrances, but I don't think that they're wide enough or big enough for Ribbon to go in. And Timo, of course, can run in and hide. Absolutely no problem. And this is just so precious. Now remember, this is live, this is interactive, it's happening right now. So if you have any questions, hashtag safariLIVE, of course, because I'd love to hear from you. Perhaps this is your first time seeing the Djuma clan of hyenas. Now, Tam, you say that this is so beautiful. It is lovely. It's a very peaceful sighting. Oh no, Craig, now look, the rain is really coming, eh? Oh my goodness, we are at some point, if it gets any heavier than what it is now, we're going to have to put rain covers on at least, and that means we'll have to move away from the sighting to do so, because we typically will make quite a bit of noise, and I don't want to startle young Ntima or Ribbon or the other hyena that I think is Gwen that is in that burrow. It won't be too fair on them, but remember we've got very expensive broadcasting equipment up on the cars. We also need to keep all the cameras and things out of the rain, otherwise we won't be able to bring you a show. So that's very important. But this rain is unusual. It's bizarre. We should not be having rain at this time of the year. It's not normal. So I don't actually know what's going on with the weather patterns. I mean, every now and then we get these overcast days in winter, but not a drop of rain. And we noticed the same thing last year in July. There was quite a big bouts of rain, and we had like 20 mils or something silly. I don't know if it was the same up in the north, but down in the south we most certainly had it. And then that was it, and then we only got rain again in September. But this is bizarre. It's now July. We've been having rain on and off for the entire month of July. Maybe it's going to be a norm from now on. Every July we will have a drizzle. Now, Michelle, you're wondering if hyenas normally have just one pup. So we actually call a baby hyenas, we call them cubs, like you would call a lion or a young leopard. It's quite interesting. And no, they can have up to 2. So typically they'll have 2. Unfortunately, what happens with hyenas, though, is that the youngsters will perform a siblicide. So it sounds quite terrible, and it isn't the greatest thing. Is basically where it's a serious competition amongst the young, and you'll find that normally the older, stronger cub, normally a female too, will kill either a younger male cub and sometimes even the younger female cub, and they're fighting for sort of a dominance even at such a young age. And we don't actually know what happened to Ntima's sibling. Ntima did have a sibling a long time ago. My goodness, not long time ago, a couple of months ago, when they were at the old den or Philemon's cut line, and we don't know what happened to it. I only saw them twice. I know James and Jamie actually had fantastic sightings with them and got to spend quite a bit of time, so they would have a better idea as to what they think sort of happened. Like I said, unfortunately wasn't lucky at the other den. I just seem to have all the luck at this one, which is fine, making up for it. I wish we'd see the rest of the clan coming through and spending more time together. They're very split up at the moment. I don't know if anyone else has noticed, but every time we see them, Ribbon seems to be around. Ribbon is in camp almost every single night. Gwen has been around too. And then the other day we saw Comet. And then we also saw... Who else did we see? I don't know the names of the hyenas. I've now forgotten. But we saw quite a few males. We also saw June, which was quite nice. She was chewing on a bone. They all seem to be moving around quite a bit. Oh, Ntima, are you enjoying yourself there? Trying to see if she is actually suckling. Oh, she is. Or if she was just sort of actually had completely fallen asleep. But it doesn't look like it. It looks like she is still suckling slightly. You can see her moving her head just a little bit. But hyena cubs don't need to drink every single day like lions and leopards. We often talk about this. They can go quite a few days without having anything to drink. The milk of hyenas seems to be sort of very nutritious. And lots of fat to keep them all going. But it's quiet. See, watching hyenas sleep is just like watching a flat cat. It's hard to sit here when there's not much going on. Let's reposition. Let's quickly have a look and see what our other girl is doing. See if she's doing anything interesting. Just make sure that it won't crash. We just got a little bit of a reposition to do, but not much. We'll go straight back. Sorry, Craig. Woo! You can see her, she's poking her head up. Oh, she's up. Why are you up? Hello! Yeah, that's totally Gwen. To me, that. What's wrong? Why are you waking up now? Where are you going? Are you just changing position? Megan, has anyone confirmed that this is Gwen? Oh, we're going to have to put rain covers on, eh, Craig? Megan, we're going to have to put rain covers on. The rain is now all of a sudden coming down quite hard, so I'm going to have to move away from the sighting. Otherwise, we're going to get all our equipment very wet. So while we do that, we'll try and be as quick as we can. Let's go across to Byron, and we'll see you shortly.
All right, well, we've got a cover on of sorts. Our plastic bag, it should hopefully help. But it looks like it's starting to lift a little bit. Maybe it's going to stop soon. It's not. It's just fine drizzle. It's hardly anything to get too worried about. But it's just making it a little bit unpleasant. And I'll tell you, we've had a wonderful morning. But I must be honest, I find myself a little jealous because we drove past a vehicle, one of the other lodges with guests, and said hi to them and asked them how their morning was going. And they all watch. A few of them all said they watch safariLIVE. So always nice to see people who watch safariLIVE out here on safari. And they said they saw a honey badger this morning. So I'm a little upset, but it's okay. It's okay, you know, as long as they're happy and they got to see it. But I am jealous. I'm jealous. So they got to see a honey badger this morning. That is lucky. What a great morning. We've had that wonderful elephant sighting. The birds have been phenomenal. Chastity, we do have very venomous snakes in this area, and one that's probably known right around the world is known as the black mamba. Now, the black mamba is a very fast-moving snake, very, very venomous. We also have puff adders. We have boomslang. We've got quite a few different snakes and venomous snakes at that in this area. However, now in winter we see very, very few of them. We don't see many of them in winter. They are all hibernating. But in summer we do see them. We don't bump into them as often as you would think, though. These snakes often, they're very shy and they choose to move away from people, and especially the sound and the vibrations of the vehicle, so they'll move away from it quite quickly. We also have Mozambique and spitting cobras. Those are beautiful snakes, but not ideal to bump into because they do spit quite readily when they feel threatened. So there are a lot of venomous snakes in the area, but we don't bump into them as often as you would think. Now, we've got a few more minutes. There's still about half an hour left, and I haven't seen any sign of the predators again. No one else has caught anything, and I think those tracks of that male leopard we had is possibly Tingana that crossed all the way through onto Buffelshoek. I'm not sure, but I do think so. And no lions, unfortunately, on our side. They passed through our area, but you never know. Maybe this afternoon. You see, the thing is, the morning is still very, very cool, so those predators will still be moving around. So you never know. We might still see something this afternoon. I have been given the responsibility of doing the town trip this morning, so I'm quite excited. First town trip I'm doing. I have to take Aya Stark into town. She's going on leave. And for those of you who don't know, Aya Stark, it's Megan. She looks just like Aya Stark from Game of Thrones. So Aya is going on leave. Megan's going, oh no, not again. Yep, Megan, we're going to make you famous. You can be a stunt double, Megan, perhaps. Yeah. So, and then Connor is arriving back today, so picking Connor up, and we've got to fill all our fuel tanks, our jerry cans, and then fill all our water bottles, because we get purified water that we bring in to drink. So there's a lot of admin to do. Alright, now it sounds like Taylor's managed to get her rain covers on. Let's go and find out if she's still sitting at that hyena den.
We're making our way back there now. In fact, trying to see. We just put some rain covers on here. I don't understand what's going on. Waiting today. The sun is out, but the rain pouring down. And the rain doesn't seem to have bothered Djuma and Ribbon very much. They haven't put their rain covers on at all. Hi, girl. Ladies. Oh, so sweet. Aren't they? I really wish young Djuma would come up and say hello. Oh, how I miss her and her playful antics. She is totally such a sweetie, don't you think? I'm still trying to figure out how old she is. So I remember seeing them in February, March, April, May, June, July. Yeah, she's probably around 5 or 6 months or so, somewhere around there, give or take a little bit. Obviously, we weren't there during the birth, so it's very difficult to give an exact date as to when she was born. But I don't think she's... Look at those little legs. You're just loving that so much. And I'd love to feel the fur of a hyena too. Not on an adult though. I can't imagine an adult's hair would be too soft. I think it would be quite wiry. But Djuma looks like she's got lovely, soft, fluffy hair. But it's still her young coat. Of course, that's going to change as she gets older. Oh, she's so cute. She's fast asleep. And the impala have also moved off now. There's just a couple of birds singing about. Most of them have gone quiet, so I suspect that they've also ducked under some trees for a bit of shelter. Now, one thing that I don't know if hyenas do the same thing is we often see leopards and lion cubs, and you see it with your cats at home as well. They normally need around the mammary glands to try and sort of stimulate the milk. Now, she's moving her paws a little bit, but I don't think it's for that exact reason. I've always wondered if hyenas did the same thing. I've never seen it before. No, not doing much at all. Very, very quiet. Whew, it's a miserable day. But they've got quite a good spot here. It's fairly sheltered, especially from the wind. So I suppose that's what's good about having quite a large termite mound with lots of trees surrounding it, especially where Gwen is sitting too. Not Gwen, sorry, where Ribbon is sitting. It'll be a perfect spot. And once you're out of the wind, it's not too bad. It's warm. She'll probably just get a couple of dribbles on her from the rain, and that's it. Johnny, you said it's a spotted situation here. It is indeed. That is 100% true. Watching them, though, is making me really tired. Like I said, I would love to go and curl up. Maybe not in the burrow. I don't know. I can't imagine the amount of parasites and things that would be in these tunnels, especially that they've been using it for so long now. I don't actually know if I'd like to get in there. I don't think I would fit in their burrows either. Now, David, you're wondering if hyenas rub themselves dry like dogs do when they get wet. I've never seen it before. However, hyenas are not afraid of water. Out here in particular, I think all over the world where you get hyenas, they're quite to enjoy it. You often see them on a hot summer's day, sitting in a puddle of water. Even on some chillier days, I've seen them in the water. So, no, I don't think so. I've seen wild dogs, though, doing that when they get a bit wet and they roll around on the grass type thing, just as your dog would, but normally it's on your carpets at home, isn't it? much to your despise, that's what they love to do, because it's nice and soft, and obviously they'll dry themselves quickly. And so no, I'm not actually too sure. I haven't seen that behavior, but perhaps some of you have watched it before and you can let me know. And that's the whole thing about guiding, is that, you know, we learn from experiences. Very quiet, very, very quiet in the day in the bush, but I don't actually blame the animals. Perhaps they knew that this weather was going to sort of fall upon them, and they decided to hide away and prepare in advance rather than racing off and trying to find a sheltered spot. As long as this rain doesn't get any heavier, it will be okay. But again, it's also good for the burns that we've just had recently, because now these little drops of rain are going to get through to that soil, and it won't be long until the new grass starts to push through. There's a Franklin or something making a nervous noise, but that could be from anything, really. Ooh. Now, Snazzy, is an interesting question. You're wondering if I could be an animal, would I rather be a spotted or a striped animal? That's a tricky one. I don't actually know. Spots. I like the spots, although no. Can I have both? What about a kudu? Because a kudu has got, no, not a kudu, an inyala has got spots and stripes on it. It's got those vertical stripes going down its body, and then they've also got little white spots on their, around their face and around their neck too. Bushbuck has the same thing. So can I be both? Because I think that's quite nice. I want to have all the different kinds of markings. That's a tough one. I wonder what Byron would think. Both of them, well, both spots and stripes work very well for camouflage, and we can clearly see it now with the hyenas, how they blend into the grass fairly well. And actually, they do it exceptionally well. See these dark patches of sand on the road? It's like the hyena's coat really does match the floor of the bush. And then yesterday when we had Hosanna, and we had a nice sighting of him with Byron when he was moving around, and he demonstrated, and with Craig's great camera work, how they just will become completely invisible in the bush. So they all work well. And then you see a zebra that stands behind some trees, and you wouldn't believe that black and white could actually camouflage a zebra, but it does. It just helps break up the solid shapes, and they can also become invisible. Kudu, same thing. Unyala with all the different colors. It all works so well. And then, of course, you get an elephant that really does just disappear into the trees. Out in the open, you can see them fairly well just because of their enormous size, but other than that, they're fairly hidden away. X-Stranger, you said that you're spotted already with your freckles. I have to agree with you, because I've also got freckles on me, thanks to me telling stories to my mom. Every time she said to me, "Taylor, did you put sunscreen on?" And I'd say, "Yes." And I didn't. Naughty me, running around playing sport as a kid. But yes, I suppose I'm also spotted. I don't really have too many stripes on me. I think we're going to leave these hyenas now, though. They're fast asleep. They don't seem to be like they're going to get up any time soon. So we'll see what else we can find. Maybe the rain, the drizzles bring something else. But let's go across to Byron and find out if he's got any coffee left.
Taylor, of course I've got coffee left. Have a look. There's a little Stenbock just off to the side. Let's see if it stands for us. There it is. Oh, gone. Move very quickly. Hold on, Senzo. We might still get it just through that gap, through the back there. Oh, right. So go right a bit. Sends right. There it goes. Walking through the back there. So we're struggling a little bit with the viewfinder and that now because of the cover that we've got over the camera. Now Taylor was answering a question. It's just that little steenbok moving through the female. Difficult to see. You can just see the head through the gap of the tree. Look at that. Well done, Senzo. Even without a viewfinder, he still gets it. Always nice to see those little steenbok. Now Taylor was answering a question. What she would rather be, striped or spotted animal. Ex-Ranger, you made me laugh. You said you've got no choice. You've got freckles, so you spotted. Well, suppose then technically I'm striped then because I've got a few white stripes coming through the side. so I suppose I'm leaning towards zebra at the moment. Oh dear. Some white stripes coming through. It's probably because I've had to deal with James for so many years. Senzo, was James very, very upset and sad because I wasn't with him in the Mara? Was he missing me? Yeah. Senzo says, yeah, he'd hide it quite well, but yeah, fortunately he's not here. He'd probably shout at us if he was. Just having a look around just to see if there are any interesting tracks. All of you apparently are laughing. It's actually quite. You know what? It's always fun having a little dig at James, but it's not nearly as fun when he isn't around. It's always a lot better if he can come back with some comment or some snarky remark. Like some little honey badger tracks around here. Now this area, there's definitely honey badgers that live around this area because we see their tracks daily, but they probably come out late at night and that's why we don't see them often. But I'm always thinking that maybe we'll still have a bit of luck and bump into one day around this area. Now don't forget everyone, tomorrow morning, so tomorrow the 1st of August, the AM safari, the sunrise safari, we are going to be starting half an hour earlier. So don't forget, it's going to be I'm just kidding, it's going to be 6 o'clock, so 6 a.m. Central African Time, CAT Central African Time, so half an hour earlier everyone, so from 6 to 9 in the morning. And then the afternoon will stay the same for now. We will let you know when that does change, but the afternoon will stay the same. So an earlier start tomorrow. All right, well, let's carry on. We've got a few more minutes. Let's see if we can find anything else. Taylor's apparently got something small on her dashboard.
I don't know what's happened to it. It's pretending to be dead now. It is a tiny little nymph of a mantid. Come here. What's wrong with you? We found it. We'll leave it there. Isn't that unbelievable? Maybe it isn't actually doing so well. But it is tiny. It's smaller than my little nail on my thumb. Maybe it's because it's quite cold and they're not typically active in weather like this. Maybe that's what's happened. It's very small, but it looks like a flower mantid. I think it will be a flower mantid. That's because of its sort of cryptic coloration. And once it gets older, maybe it's going to turn into a beautiful looking thing. But it is absolutely tiny. Shame. I don't think it is doing too well in this cold weather. You can just see its antenna moving. And the left-hand side, of course, is its head. On the right, that's its, well, the rear end of a praying mantis. It is so cool. That is really amazing. You're going to wake up now. It's starting to get a little bit of life to it. I've never seen a praying mantis sort of death feigning before, so I'm unsure if they're actually capable of doing it, but at one point it did pretend that it was dead. We were just trying to rescue it. Oh, look at that. It's turned to look at you. Jono, you say amazing camouflage. They're incredible little things. Yes, it's got a bit of life to it now. So maybe it's a combination. Maybe it was worried that we were going to eat it. Don't worry. We're not going to eat you. I'm actually going to rescue you and put you back in the bush where you belong, because it was on the rain covers. So it's obviously been living in the rain covers for quite some time. And now it is starting to come alive. That's the wind sort of blowing its antenna around. You can see that the wind is coming from the southwest today. Which is typically where it always comes from. Hey, little one, aren't you precious? This is what I miss so much about summer, is that we don't often get to see all these beautiful creatures in the winter months, but as soon as summer comes around, they're everywhere. Remember the great sightings we had, and that's when bushwalk is my absolute favorite. This is really quite amazing. Now, ferocious predators, not at this age, though, you can imagine. They're not tackling the biggest biggest insects. But when they get to a decent size, which this one needs to grow a little bit more. Remember, this is a nymph, so it's basically just a little replica of the adults. It's not going to pupate anymore. Sort of hatched with lots and lots of other little mantids. And off it goes from an uthika. Remember, we're finding lots and lots of uthikas on the grass stems and on the various trees too. Unusual to see such a small one out at the moment. Isn't that amazing? Right, I'm not going to bother it for too much. I'm actually want to try and, well, not rescue it, but relocate it. Snazzy, you said you've never seen a live praying mantis before. Well, there we go. Look how it's tiny. You can just see it's just a speck on my dashboard. Where are we going to put it, Craig? Shall we drive with it to a tree? I'm trying to think. This would actually be quite nice in here because it's brown and it's going to blend in very well. Little mantid, how am I going to save you? Let me find a bigger leaf. I'm going to unplug myself now as well while I attempt the rescue mission. Please cooperate, and please don't death feign, don't jump. See, it's getting defensive now. It's trying to make itself look bigger. Come on. It's okay. Here we go. Actually, you can have one more look of it on the leaf. It'll be quite nice. It's tiny. That's a great background. Now you can see it quite well. Oh, so precious. Please take some screenshots. Hashtag safariLIVE. This is an amazing cryptic little mantid. We get so many different types out here. We get so many different types of praying mantids all over the world. Right, let me put him down. Enjoy your life. Don't get eaten. Don't freeze to death. I can hear the wildebeest too. Just want to make sure I get in here. Don't let the ants get you either. Oh, it's on the floor now. Oh well, it'll make its way out to the tree. I dropped it in amongst the leaves. That'll be a safe spot though, nonetheless. Okay, I heard some wildebeest just up ahead. They're snorting. I think they must have spotted me as I got out the car. Oh, it's a kudu as well. Lots of animals. Oh, so where have you been all morning? Come on now, wildebeest, kudu, impala. Very upsetting. Lots and lots of different animals. There's a little kudu running away. And of course, the impala in the foreground, and then the wildebeest right at the back, and you can hear one snorting. It must be a very unhappy bull. Perhaps he didn't like me. What do you have against me rescuing praying mantids? That's very mean. Isn't this nice? Now, typically we see these fellas all around the dam, up on quarantine, but not this morning with the wind and the chilly weather. I am not surprised to see them in this sort of wooded area, keeping out of the wind, and also if it does start to pour with rain, they won't stand out in the open. Well, not the wildebeest here in the Sabi Sand. They will go and try and find shelter, and because some of the big trees unfortunately don't have as many leaves on them, they have to settle for these smaller shrubs, and they'll normally just turn their bottoms to the rain and then try and stand behind a guarri tree and protect themselves that way. It doesn't necessarily mean they have to have leaves over the top of their head, but as long as they can block the rain from which direction the wind is blowing it in, they'll be happy and they'll be fine. Tim, you say end of the show, animal invasion as always. Oh, you have no idea, Tim. It's these animals have got such a great sense of humor for doing this. Let's go up a little bit further though, Craig. Let's go drive in and amongst the herd and ask them where have they been and why were they hiding from me. My goodness, I put my car into warp speed there accidentally. Of kudu. There's actually a beautiful. Will we get it? Can I be quick enough? Sorry, Craig, I should have positioned there in the first place. I'm going to try and see. I think I have to go a little bit further forward for you. There we go. Isn't that a nice view? Well, brief one. Sorry, everyone. I wasn't quick enough off the mark there. A lovely young kudu bull, not particularly massive. Oh, there's another one coming just to the left. He's even bigger. Yes, that's an impressive looking boy. Straight away, look how much more muscled he is around his neck, around his shoulders. He's definitely the more dominant bull. And then, of course, the lovely colors of orange and red and green, just creating a beautiful backdrop. Let's go forward again. Let's see if we can get the wildebeest, because there's a whole lot in front. Should we challenge this youngster that's coming towards us? Who's going to move first? Chicken? Have you ever played chicken against a human before, wildebeest? Probably not. But there are a whole lot of them around here. All just grazing. The grass doesn't seem to be too delicious. It's actually quite brown. It's just the wildebeest that are grazing. The impala seem to be feeding on little shrubs and things. Oh, and there's an oxpecker that's just on this impala just over here. She's got her head down. She's actually feeding on a num-num at the moment. And there's another num-num we can keep checking. Don't you eat my berries. You better stop eating at one. Don't you dare. See that? Now you can see who's responsible for taking all the fruit off of one of my favorite plants in the whole world. You better be careful, because that's a prickly bush there. You'll get a thorn on your nose. Now that oxpecker doesn't seem to be. Oh no, it is feeding now. It is feeding. A moment ago it wasn't feeding, and I was going to say it's just trying to sit on the impala for warmth. It's probably doing both, in fact. And you can almost see the impala starting to erect its hair on its body. It's getting fluffy. It must be feeling the temperature drop. Definitely noticeable now. Megan, do you know what the temperature is all of a sudden? Because it's much colder than what it was when we started, in my opinion. Well, I always argue against the weather, though. So it's 65 and 18. So it's cold. I think it's not going to warm up too much today. Maybe we'll be lucky if it gets to 20 degrees, 68 degree Fahrenheit. But I don't think that it'll be too much more than that. And the wildebeest are just coming out in front. Now, Lyra Moore, you're wondering, what are the first signs of spring? Ooh. First signs of spring? I'm trying to think now. Maybe a flower on a tree. Jasmine. When we start to get the smells of jasmine, that always reminds me of spring. And just the arrival of all the insects, and the grasshoppers start to come back. I suppose that's to me. But it just depends, and I think as soon as we get our first rain, then we'll normally see a change in the bush. Otherwise, it sort of just stays miserable and brown. What's happening in here? Sorry, I'm just listening. I don't know if they just... Oh, someone is sneezing. Bless you. Yes, there's an impala that's got a tickle on the nose. Now remember, we are changing the times from tomorrow morning We'll be starting the show half an hour earlier, so it'll be 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central African time. Yeah, someone's obviously picked up the cold that seems to be going around the Wild Earth camp at the moment. Oh, I would not. Let me go forward. Safari Wildman, you said that it's been a great drive, and thank you. No, well, thank you to all of you. Remember, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, so please keep sending in those questions all the time. Keep thinking of them. We love it. We love having chats with you too. Hopefully the weather will be a bit better this afternoon. Oh, don't tell me you're going to jump over that silver cluster leaf. No ways. Whee! Did you see that little spring in the step there? I'm going to go forward to the wildebeest. She did that so easily. Well, it's been a fantastic morning nonetheless. The animals hiding away just slightly. But I suppose we can't have it all every single day, can we? But some nice variety of different types of animals, a bit of birding, and Byron saving the show with the elephants. And, well, it sounded like that hawk eagle was a great time. Anyways, hope you have a good night's rest, and we look forward to seeing you again on the Sunset Safari. Until then, cheerio.